Well, hey, True Believers England team here. I was going to do a pop-up auction. I've got a schedule for tomorrow, if I do that at all. But we had technical difficulties over here in the Butler household, and that little bird, I see a little spot here. I'm wondering if the bird tagged me. But then again, we were eating donuts. That might just be what that is. Yeah, it's a feather. All right. Anyway, I was going to do a pop-up auction, level 25% off kind of thing, just to make sure that we have enough for rent. And we missed our anniversary last week, so we're going to do something on Friday. I just wanted to cover bases and everything. I may do one tomorrow. Like, I've got it scheduled and ready to go. But tomorrow's typically the day off. Even on Friday, we're going to be I've got feathers everywhere, and we're going to be going out. But yeah. Anyway, I figured, just to put something up there. Nobody knows this, so I don't expect a lot of people to show up. But I'm going to be doing an unboxing I've been threatening to do for quite a while. I got 3 boxes filled with dime store novels. I don't know what you would call these. I mean, I know they're little novels or novellas or whatever, but they're these things. And I got some are Westerns, some are war, some are sci-fi. And I figured I would show them off here before I put them on eBay or in my booth at the flea market I've got. I know people like to say, oh, it's a, what is it? Antique shop, because people put out all their old stuff. It's a flea market. Muncie doesn't have antiques. We have rummage. But I figured I'd show these off if anybody wants any. And let's face, we could do this. Hey, Grand Admiral, what's up, my friend? Like I said, I don't expect a lot of people to show up since this was unplanned completely. But if you guys see something you want, just say, hey, I want that one. It's going to be what I call a claim auction. So if you do see something you want, you say, hey, I want that book. And I'll give 30 seconds for anybody to reply. If not, it's yours. But I'm not going to stop. Like, it's not going to be one of those auctions where I put stuff up like a normal one. I'm going to show off the book. I'm just going to go to the next one, and I'm going to read the comments and such like that. I'm going to write stuff down, make sure whoever wants the book, I've got a record of it. And so I'll go through the books later and figure it out. So that's the rules. And this actually applies after the video. So if you're watching this on a replay and you see something, ask me in the comments, is that still available? As a matter of fact, let's just go on ahead and say, let's do that with the comic book auctions as well. So with all of that said, let's go through it. I'm not expecting a lot except for a little context. And if you guys want to talk, if you want to chat about stuff that's been going on and actually have a live stream as well, I'm okay with that. Just shared it out for whatever it's worth. I should do that. I don't think I've shared this one out either. I shared it to the people who, hey guys, if you want to come on and chat and all that. And Eric mentioned he wanted to be a part of this one just to talk about the novels and everything. And hopefully he'll jump on. But I know he's big into sports. He's big into the baseball thing. So I'm not expecting it. I'm expecting this to be a complete solo. And that's cool. That's cool. I know RDV just started his auction and everything. And this was out of left field, but I've had these books for a while. And 2 things. 1, I know Gail wants me to get them the fuck out of her house. And 2, they really are. There's just 3 boxes of books, so I get it. We do need to get them out of the house. So let's go through this. Let's start this thing up. Right after I share this out and say, hey, somebody come on in and look at this book unboxing we're doing. There you go. Paste that. Let's get that thumbnail going on. Did you guys hear about that? What is it? Representative Pramila Jayapal says she was working with foreign countries. I think I saw Tim Pool, and he was talking about, and he looked it up and said she might not have done anything wrong. So I don't know. Yeah, strange. We live in a strange time, strange worlds. I just happened to scroll through to find something to listen to get through the rest of that. Well, okay. Are you at work there, Grand Admiral? Because right now it seems to be just you and I. All right, I don't know what this is. I got to actually take my glasses off. I really should have gotten at least bifocals. I will do this. At some point in time, I'll get bifocals so I could read up close as well. The Return of Felmid McFall. This is called Bard 2. It's by Keith Taylor. Never heard of this. If you guys have, it looks sort of sword and sorcery, I guess, or at least sword and sandals, right? All righty. Then we have something called from Michael McCullum, author of Strike. This is called A Greater Infamy. It's a sci-fi novel. One day, Duncan McElroy was just an average engineering student at Arizona State University. Next, he was holed up in a cabin near the Grand Canyon on the run from deadly Neanderthals carrying laser pistols. The only thing that saved him, it seems, were his quick wits, a fast woman, and a Paratine shuttle. Yeah, a fast woman saved my life, too. I married her. Hi, honey, I love you. Oh, by the way, if you do want these, I'm starting these at $1. I should have said that in the beginning. It's $1 each. Oh, I just seen something flicker by about Jay about. Yep. Like I said, we live in weird times, man. People are like, oh, I hate the president, therefore I'm going to commit acts of treason. Oh, Isaac Asimov. I know who he is. Wonderful Worlds of Science Fiction. 10 stars, edited by Isaac Asimov. Martin H. Greenberg. There you go. Once again, even if you're not watching this live, see something, say something. The way we do it is pretty easy. You pay through PayPal. I send. It's easy as that. If you are part of the auction, part of the comic book auction every Saturday night at 8:30, I'm just going to throw these in with your with whatever comic books you have being sent to you. All righty. Next up, we've got a book called Duel in the Snow. I think I've read this, or I've heard about this. Duel in the Snow by Hans Mesner. There you go. And if you guys do want a description read off, just say the word. All righty. What is this? This is Helen McInnes, The Assignment in Brittany, a haunting novel of romance and suspense. Gailey, this is up your alley. It's a haunting novel of romance and suspense. Yes, that looks nice. You know, this would be like in the Secrets of the Forbidden, what is it? Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love. Yeah, I could actually see I can see this as a comic book cover right here. Yeah. All righty. Womp-om. And then something from, oh, they covered up the authors. I'm trying to take off the stickers as we go. I'm fully expecting everything to go to the flea market or eBay. I was thinking of just taking, like, if nobody wants any, whatever anybody doesn't want, I'm thinking of just taking pictures of like a bunch of them, 10 at a time, and, you know, put $10 on the lot. Wow, this was sold for 50 cents. Look at that. It's A.E. Van Vogt, Destination Universe. Wow, we made it. Woo! Huh. During the past 2 decades, the name of A.E. Van Vogt has become, okay, what is it about? Represents the highest. I don't see a description. Of the 10 stories making up Destination Universe, a majority deal with man versus alien situations. An Earthman must adjust or die in the Martian desert of Venusia Swamp. A young boy encounters enemies, outsiders, disguised as men in a playground. A human corresponds with a citizen of. Oh, okay, I guess this is one that it would help if you knew what stuff was. Duel in the Snow does. Yeah, I've heard that title before. So yeah, I'm thinking it's been something like I've seen it somewhere. I've heard of it somewhere. What do we have here? This is called, the blazing sequel to 3 Days of the Condor. That I have heard of. And I think I saw the movie like a bajillion years ago, back when I was a kid. Even maybe it was out when Gail was a kid. So that's about 20 years before me. So there you go. She's a little bit older. Tad bit. Shadow of the Condor by James Grady. The Americans want him as a sitting duck in a deadly trap. The Russians want him out of the path of their perfect plan. The Chinese want him for perverse purposes that no normal mind would ever imagine. I don't know. These days you can imagine. Well, actually, you don't have to imagine it. Just Google it. The Condor's back, and this time it doesn't seem that even his luck and nerve and brains and sheer will to live will help him survive. Bum, bum, bum. You like living on the edge? You know what? I do like getting reactions out of Gail as much as possible. Sometimes she just sits there and smiles. Sometimes she's just this is how she is right now.
I'm busy.
I'm busy, you dick. By the way, okay, let me explain. Gail and I quote movies back and forth to each other, okay? And that one is a movie quote. It's from a Christmas movie called Just Friends. We laugh our asses off at it. We love it. We watch it every year. And there's a scene. Oh, what's her name? Used to be married to Chris Pratt. Anna Faris. She plays like a Britney Spears style character. And they're in a bar, and he's talking to his ex best friend, played it by Amy Smart. And she's calling out his name. What's his name? No, okay, I forgot his name.
The tall guy.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Well, I know it's Ryan Reynolds. I was thinking the character's name, but she keeps going. She keeps calling his name and is like, Ryan, 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 Ryan. And he turns and goes, I'm busy. And she yells back, I'm busy, you dick. And so this has been something. Anytime one of us says I'm busy, the other one just yells, I'm busy, you dick. So yeah. While it seems I like living on the edge, we do have our we do have our things. Oh, this might not go too well. I'm already feeling the strain here. Let's see. The Asperger's. No. Okay. I think I read that wrong. Let me remove the tag and see what this is. The Aspern Papers, The Spoils of Poynton by Henry James. Oh, I've heard of him. He's an author. Yeah, isn't he? Isn't Henry James somebody? James's first work in his later style, the wonderful constructed short novels. Do we have? What else did Henry James do? He did something famous. I do know this. I'm coming off like very unread. Like I don't read a lot of books. I used to read a lot of novels. I think for the last 10, maybe even 15 years, it's been graphic novels. I don't. Just recently, I picked up a Stephen King book that I bought actually the Stephen King book I'm reading right now, I bought in the 80s. It's The Gunslinger. It's chapter 1 to his Dark Tower series. I bought the entire Dark Tower series, and I said, you know what? I'm going to read them in succession after it's all out. So I bought the books, but I held them. And then we put them in storage, and we kept moving around, and they always stayed in storage. And I finally pulled it out. Oh my gosh, that thing is so moldy. It is such a moldy book at this point. And it's an original 1980s Gunslinger. So if it was A-OK, it would have some monetary value. But I finally started reading that, and it's kind of entertaining. I picked up another one of his books and started reading called Revival. It's about a preacher in a small town. I think he loses his way. I don't know. I'm not there yet. But this is called Ghoster right here. And this is by Lee McKeon. All righty. Let's see. It was an alien derelict ship, maybe centuries old. Like I said, I've got all sorts of stuff here. This is going to take forever if I keep reading off the stuff. But I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to see these things. And all right. But yeah, it's been a long damn time. I used to read Stephen King like he was the only author ever. All right, what else do we have? Ellery Queen, The Finishing Stroke, Tricks and Treats for the Queen's Quorum. The strangest case in Ellery Queen's career, a case that took 27 years to solve. Oh my gosh, it's got a what Wilco? What is that? Woolco. You remember Woolco? Woolco is kind of like the Timu Woolsworth. I don't know if you guys remember that, but yeah, there you go. A gay Christmas house party in Snowbound Mansion. You remember when that meant something else? Turned sour when the spoilsport guest begins sending anonymous gifts to his hosts. The gifts are mysterious. I guess it's a mystery novel, right? Yeah, that's up here. Okay, I know Ellery Queen is kind of a. Don't you watch a show with her on it on Tubi? Okay. And this used to belong to Rebecca Strickland, 45 Madison Avenue in Athens, Ohio, by the way, if anybody wants to return this. All right. Let's see. This is Arson Darnay. Arson Darnay. Hey, I know that guy. The urban structures needed helium from the rural tribes to survive, but suddenly the tribesmen were demanding something in return. Well, that's just free trade, right? I give you this, you give me that. LMAO, my mind went immediately to the current meaning of that. Yes, a gay Christmas party. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La, 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel. But here you go. This is a hostage for hinterland. Once again, I am showing these off. Even if you're watching this on a replay, if you see something you like, just say something and we'll set it up. You pay through PayPal. I send it to your house. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If you're with the Saturday comic book auctions, which I recommend everybody be a part of, I'll send it with your comics. And all books start at $1. Normally, I could tell when older media says gay in that way, but that time I totally assumed it meant the modern way until you pointed it out. Yeah, it's an old novel. That's why I felt I needed to point it out. I was looking for the what is it, the copyright date and all that to find out when this was. So yeah, because it's usually on the inside. Published by the New American Library, and this is 1960. This is a 1967. Hey kids, this book is Silver Age. All righty. All right, let's see. The Call of the Earth by Orson Scott Card. Hey, he did Ultimate Iron Man. We know Orson Scott Card in the comic book collecting community. This is called The Call of the Earth. And it says, reminiscent of Arthur C. Clarke's The City and Stars. There seems to be little doubt that the whole series will prove as readable and morally committed as we've come to expect from Card. Let's see. His harmonies, Oversoul grows a weaker. A great warrior is arisen to challenge its bands. His name is Mohiz, and he has won control of an army using forbidden technology. And now I shall read it like a inner city school. I can't read that shit. All right. Anyway, let's go. Dude, did you see that story? That freaking killed me. How? Okay. Let's see. This is called The Game of Fox and Lion, and it's by a guy named Robert R. Chase. Okay, as we go through, I'm removing stickers. I may do one box a day or something because I am taking some time doing this. Hello, seems Grand Admiral are the same wavelength. Yep. Well, like I said, that's why I wanted to explain that. Bum, bum, bum. All right, and this is The Game of Fox and Lion. There you go. Away, away. My heart's on fire. I find my duty hard to do today. Oh, wait. Here, Larry Bird the Hoosier Hoopster, the All-Star Champion, the Bird in Flight. I guess this is a book about a kid who plays basketball. Does he become a bird? The Making of an American Sports Legend. This is by Daniel Levine. There you go. Hey, you know what? Everybody likes a sports underdog story. Why not get the story of what's his name? Larry Bird. There you go. I'm surprised they haven't made a movie. I mean, they made a movie about Forrest Gump. Sports stories do well. All righty. Let's see. You know, before he was sliced in half and fell to Larry Bird was sliced in half. Speaking of novels, I just finished one today, Darth Maul's Shadowhunter. It's pretty dang good. It was back when the only Maul stories they would do was set before the Phantom Menace. Oh, okay. Before he was sliced. Okay, you're talking about Darth Maul. All right, from Johnny Ringo. I'm your Huckleberry. I always thought he said, I'm here, Huckleberry, because I listened to that over and over and over. Every time all I hear is, I'm here, Huckleberry. Like he's calling him Huckleberry. I want your blood, and I want your soul, and I want it right now. Yeah. Will anybody step up? I'm here, Huckleberry. That's what I heard. But everybody is, nope. Oh, this is called The Eye of the Storm. It is a little rough. This one has definitely been read. Little space battle there. Bum, bum. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. I'm assuming that neither, since Grand Admiral and Austin are the only ones commenting, that neither one of them watch or play or know about basketball. I went through that entire Larry Bird bit. Nobody said anything. Everything I do is to try to invoke some sort of reaction. I got none. All right, what do we got here? This is by Hank Searles. Okay, and I'm going to have to, I've got some wipes. I've got to rub on some of these because they're a little bit dusty. Isn't that the way it is sometimes with old books? You could tell a guy who just wipes shit on his clothes. Yep. I watched local basketball and played it as a teenager. I used to be really good at basketball as a teenager. Not so much as an adult. This is called Pilgrim Project. The Failsafe, an exciting story, a crackling good. Oh, like Failsafe. Okay. There you go. Never heard of Hank Searles or this. There we go. Let's see. Introducing Balzan, Castaway from Earth. Okay, it's kind of like a John Carter thing, huh? Spaceflight Ares Probe 1 was 13 months away from Earth on a manned journey to Mars. Then it happened. The craft was plucked out of the solar system to crash on a wild planet never seen by man. Only an infant boy sleeping in a stasis inside a safety cube survived. He was to become Balzan, adopted son in the tribe of bipeds resembling Earth cats. Okay. You know they couldn't use the John Carter Warlord of Mars thing, so yeah. Any old Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys 3 investigators, or Trixie Belden's in there, says King K. I have no idea. I honestly just don't know. I know I did one box. I actually went through one box and it was mostly Western. The other two, this is the first time I'm going through them myself. So, alrighty, let's see. Hans Helmet Cursed, the Officer Fact. Oh, this is one of those Nazi books. This is one of those World War II books. There you go. Where that the officer factory was geared to produce hardened soldiers ready to conquer Europe and the world for Adolf Hitler, or Adolf if you want to say it properly. Okay, there we go. Once again, if you guys see something, just say, oh, yeah, I want that. All books. We're going to start it all at $1. Even if you've never done one of the auctions or anything, we'll set it up. And if you're watching this on a replay, go right on ahead and leave in the comments. Oh, wait. Well, I want that one. Okay. I'm good with that. I've read a couple of these novels. This one definitely has been read before, but I don't blame because these books are cool by George R. Martin. The third R stands for really late. Or is he late or is he lazy? What do you think? Why do you think he hasn't finished that last book, knowing now with the TV show and everybody's really just jazzed for it? But this is Wild Cards. I dig these, man. Seriously. I read a few of these. I don't know if this is one of them, but I think one of the ones I read was the first one. I do remember one where this guy, because what it is the world gets superpowers, and one of the people in the world, and one of the guys I remember gets a superpower where every time he wakes up as a different person, like his body is different, and so he uses that as a way to start being a thief, because he steals things, he goes somewhere, falls asleep, wakes up, he's not in the same body and everything. Let's see. This is by a guy named Gregory Benford. It's called Against Infinity. These are old. I mean, these are seriously old books. I mean, I'm feeling the dust, but when was this? Oh, no, this is 1983. It's not old at all, according to comic books. I mean, it's freaking 43 years old at this point. Not lazy or he written himself into a corner. Yeah, didn't they do it? Yeah, they've got a couple of wild card series. I know the first one was that prestige format. It's kind of gray with the card. I think it was a 4-issue. Each book had a different suit around the cover. Yeah. Kid Duckies, we've got the Lost Empires. It was a time of innocence, never to come again. This is by somebody named J.B. Priestley. And it says, now a mobile masterpiece theater presentation. What does that mean? I don't know what a mobile masterpiece theater present is. It just like a play? It became a play? 1913, young Richard Herncastle joins his uncle famous magic act and is introduced to the enchanted world of British music hall. Traveling from one city to the next, assisting at conjuring acts and disappearing acts, Richard comes to know romance, politics, and high adventure. The next year, in a true and terrifying vanishing act, the guns of August blast away that world forever. Huh. Okay. I have no idea what that means. That was what, okay, meant. Oh, last of the top books, and then I can actually get down to the second layer of books in this box. I got a lot of books. The guy was just like, I can't sell them to save my life. Do you want them? No, I'll check. You know, I either try and succeed or goodwill them, right? So if somebody gives you something and your whole point is what is it, a secondary reseller, I think they're calling us now. I don't. Okay, here's something also. I'm a reseller. I get it. I'll find something and I'll go, oh wow, I can. Somebody's selling this for $1. I know I can get 5 for it. Okay, fine. That's me going out and hunting. Is it wrong for me to kind of put myself above the people who go to shops, like grab the Pokemon cards that are usually, I don't know how much, what are they, $5 a pack? And then they go, no, I'm going to charge you $15 a pack. Yeah. I mean, we're essentially doing the same thing, but I don't know. I see it as something different. I see it as, because especially, I've always thought this. You go to a flea market. It's almost like rediscovering a hidden gem if you bring it out to people who would enjoy it. But I guess they're calling them scalpers. I think that's a whole different ballgame because everybody should have that first chance to grab it off the shelf, right? I don't know. Let's see. People have pretty much quit selling books at flea markets. Makes you wonder if the current generation even know how to read. Oh, we've discovered that they don't, because you know, we saw that video, right? At least our inner city. The weird thing to me is that they want to get the kid in trouble for showing this video of these other high school students that can't read. You know, and we know it's an inner city school. It's a black school. And I remember even in the 90s, black people used to call each other Einstein as an insult. Even what was his name? Not Kid Rock. Chris Rock did that whole thing. I'm not going to say the name. We all know what it is, where he said there's black people in the other side of the black culture. And he mentioned that particular side of black culture loves not to know. You want to keep your money safe, hide it in your books. This is a book called By Honor and Betrayed. This is book 3 of Mage World by Deborah Doyle and James D. McDonald. Oh, another name I recognize. There you go. But I feel bad for the kids. I really do, because there was a certain sense of pride about not being able to read. And that's just dumb. I mean, that's literally stupid, at least by my definition. I've always said ignorance is not knowing. Everybody begins ignorant. And there's a lot of stuff we even go through life being ignorant of. I turn on a light every day, of my life for the last, however long I could turn on a light. I couldn't tell you how it really worked. A lot of people who work with, who are electricians, couldn't tell you exactly how electricity works. We're ignorant of it. Ignorance is just not knowing. Stupidity is not wanting to know. So when you find, and I get it, it's like, oh my gosh, how'd he die? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. That's a little different, but not wanting to know is stupidity. It's just, that's how I always thought about it. I don't know. Anyway. Let's see. I feel like resellers are certain kind of people. The Pokemon people are scalpers. Yeah, it's seedy. It's a seedy way of doing things. The Demi-Vierges, Volume 1. The Demi-Vierges, Vierges. If there's a smarter person than I am, it says a Victorian classic. The Demi-Vierges. Have you ever heard of this? I've never heard of this. Yeah. I can't read this. It's written in Victorian English. All right. And next we have The Brave and the Bold. Not That Brave and the Bold, ladies and gentlemen. No Batman in this one. There is sticker upon sticker here. Let me get the first one off. Reduced. Oh, that's just reduced for a quick sale. All righty. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to put these out. If somebody buys them, they buy them. If not, okay. When I decide I need the shelf space, I'll remove them. Let's see. My high school age sister is struggling to read normal books. It was really sad to see. I remember being first able to read novels on my own in 5th grade. It was part of my entertainment. I suggested, we have 2 nieces, and they're always looking at screens. And I suggested if we let them come over for a summer, we bring them inside, or we take them to the library, bring them inside and have them read books. I just think it's something that kids need. Then again, I think kids need daydream time, to tell you the truth. Just chill out. Don't get, because it's, what is it? It's constant information now with all the screens and everything. Reading a book, even if it doesn't have to be a novel or anything like that, something grade appropriate, I know I always just enjoyed, my parents brought me to the library young, so I always enjoyed reading. This sticker is this, I guess I'll put this 50 cents. Brave and the Bold by Horatio Alger. But yeah, we used to go to the library all the time. Author of Young Adventurer, Strive and Succeed, Making His Way, Do and Dare. Hmm. You ever go through your old stuff, you're cleaning up, and then you find something interesting and you just stop and you're like looking at it? Yeah, that's when either the wife or if you're a kid, your mom comes in. Why are you just sitting around? Well, I wasn't. Patricia Briggs, Bone Crossed, an increasingly excellent series. I love these books, says Charlene Harris of the New York Times. All righty. New York Times bestseller, author of Hunting Ground. There you go. But I thought, yeah, well, let's get these kids reading a book. I mean, the one that got there, one of the great books to me as a kid, give them Charlotte's Web. Bridge to Terabithia was my favorite book for a long time, longer than a kid's book should be a favorite book. I just thought it was amazingly imaginative. It was serious. It dealt with death, and it dealt with crushes and love and being, there was a whole bunch of stuff in this one kid's book. They made a movie out of it. It was all right. It was all right. I do think that one thing they did skate around is the kid really had a crush on his teacher, and she had to let him down. That was what I was getting to. All righty. Anyway, that was Bones Crossed. There we go. Away, my heart's on fire. I found my duty. I've got it's Pirates, Penzance. I got that stuff stuck in my head now. Let's see. This is a 50-cent novel. New writings in SF3, SP3. I don't know. Let me peel the sticker off so I can read. And by the way, please keep your comments coming, guys, or questions or anything, because I dig the extra conversation. New writings in SF3. Okay, science fiction, volume 3. I guess it means that. But there you go. Let's see, featuring Colin Rapp's The Subways of Tazoo. Now here's the third collection of freshest, most imaginative science fiction writing today. Exciting new stories selected for the daring originality, new international and well-known authors. What do we got here? The Subway of Tazoo by Colin Capp, The Fiend by Frederick Pohl, Manipulation by John Kingston, Testament by John Baxter, Night Watch by James Inglix, Bolter's Canaries by Keith Roberts, Emerith by Dan Morgan, and Space Master by James H. Schmitz. Oh, I got to tell you, some of these I just want to start reading. You know what? If I start reading these, I am definitely going to just turn on the camera and start reading them. I don't know why I'm not doing that anyway. When I'm reading my Stephen King, I'm trying to get back into it. Might as well. Why read a comic? But if you have a YouTube channel, why do anything if the camera's not on, right? Louis L'Amour's blazing novel of a man who wanted just one thing: to fight the enemy to the death. Guns of the Timberland. Dun, dun, dun. And I'm about to go into a sneezy fit. Sorry about that, guys. Some of these books, I wiped a couple of them off. I'm surprised I don't have a brown dust stain on my shirt here. But there you go. I know of Louis L'Amour. Wasn't he Lonesome Dove? Wasn't he the Lonesome Dove guy? Or was he the Dove Soap guy? Joe Haldeman. Work Done for Hire, a riveting near-future science fiction story of the dangers of living in a surveillance state. I wonder how old this book is. I mean, we're there. We're in a surveillance state. One thing that really made me think, holy shit, it's collapsing, were red light cameras. First of all, red light cameras 100% should not be seen as constitutional because you cannot face your accuser. There's no way. Even if you go, well, Sergeant Bill was watching the cameras that day and he's coming to court. How do you know he was the guy that was watching the cameras at the time? I know it means that, people would get away with running red lights and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? It's what it's the trade-off. Red light cameras, to me, they are absolute, just based on the fact that you cannot truly face your accuser in a court of law, just puts it that way to me. And it really is weird to me that even courts say, no, it's okay. 2014. Okay. It's recent. I have a 60 paperback of Conan right next to me. Conan the Adventurer. It has a great Frazetta cover. That's awesome. All right. All righty. How far are we in? 40 minutes? Yeah, I might just do a box today, a box tomorrow, and a box the next day. Because I'm talking too much and I'm going through these a little slow. I'm only through one box. I'm not even through a one box, I should say. This is another Patricia Briggs. It looks like it's the same series as that other one. I may have to put these together. Well, if I find sets, which I know I do have in the Westerns, like I said, I went through the Westerns already. I think I'm going to sell them as sets. And by the way, if you're wondering, you put up James Bond, I have 1 or 2 James Bond novels. They're the only thing that would be a name. I don't think anybody would recognize this, so I put them up on the thing. After an accident, bumper to bumper traffic, Mercy and her stepdaughter Jessie can't reach Alpha Werewolf Adam or anyone else in the pack for that matter. They've all been abducted. They're werewolves. Okay. Through their mating bond, all Mercy knows is that Adam is angry and in pain, but she fears his disappearance may be related to the political battle the werewolves have been fighting to gain acceptance from the public, and that he and the pack are in serious danger. Outmatched and on her own, Mercy may be forced to seek assistance from any ally she can get, no matter how unlikely. Well, there you go. It's a werewolf series. Go figure. A Mercy Thompson now. Okay, I guess that's this one. Her right there. Yeah. Go figure. Did not know that. There we go. All right. Let's see. Oh, and this one is called Iron Brand by John Morrissey, book 1 of the Iron Angel trilogy. Let's see. Critic Lynn Carter calls it crisp, vivid, exciting, brilliant, heroic fantasy debut. There you go. Iron Brand. Upon their father's death, the 3 sons of Vannon were stunned to learn their legacy swords of gold, silver, and iron, and a lost kingdom. It seemed like a fairy tale until they were attacked by a hideous creature that fought on even after it was beheaded. It was then that the brothers learned their hands were held by the Cairn Lord, a powerful wizard steeped in evil. He was century-old, perhaps not even human, and he had no intentions of giving up the throne. That's the Iron Brand. All right. Used to watch NCIS. If it's halfway realistic, pretty scary how they can follow your movements with just street cameras. I know, right? Let's see. 12 new science fiction stories that will transport you to the farthest reaches. Edited by Joseph Elder. Didn't he have some scrolls? Okay. This one. There you go. The city just sucked me in. Swoosh. The streets were boiling with people and beings. Golden women from Topaz, tall green jungle masters from Mazan. Didn't we hear that a couple of books back? Steppenvolk from Siegfried, dressed in clean mirror suits, Lemire face cheering Bodas, beings from a thousand planets, all babbling, laughing, carnival sounds, laughter, singing, music. Okay. It's a collection. Away, away, my heart's on fire. This is from Robert J. Heinlein. Isn't it Robert J? I know it's Robert Heinlein. Is there a middle initial in there somewhere? J sounds good. Robert J. Heinlein. What's the J stand for? The J stands for J. Two superb short novels, Heinlein, Waldo and Magic Inc. There we go. Let's see. Waldo, an arrogant scientific genius orbiting Earth in his private space station, solving the world's problems for every good, free. Then the whole fractal basis of the science he lived by disappears. And then Magic Inc. The magicians had a monopoly, and they were using every trick of dirty politics and death-dealing spells to keep it, until two businessmen, a witch and a ghost sniffer, got on their trail and followed it to hell itself. All right. Oh, well, I guess I got a couple of these. Patricia Briggs, Hunting Ground, an Alpha and Omega novel. And on this one, at least it's got a werewolf. So, yeah. There you go. There you go. Hunting Ground. And this is part of that werewolf trilogy. So far, it's a trilogy. I don't know how many are in there, but I know I should sell them as a set when it comes up. Alrighty, what else we got here, kids? And by the way, thanks for hanging out, those of you who are, and thank you for adding to the conversation, guys. It just keeps it going. Somebody really, really wants to be a part of this, but I know for a fact that he would try to eat the books. Anytime I'm with him and I pick up a book, he goes up to taste it. All righty. A novel by John Brunner, author of Tides of Time. This is called Children of Thunder. In the decaying world of the 1990s, the children were humanity's only hope and its greatest threat. It sounds like Children of Men from that. But there you go. And here's another werewolf novel by Patricia Briggs. Moon Called, and this is a Mercy Thompson novel. There we go. Why are these not comic books? I wonder, are they any good? I mean, at this point in time, think of all the women could do it by themselves kind of comic book writers. You would think, or maybe they're afraid to get sued because, well, you know, oh my gosh, it's like Twilight, but with werewolves. Twilight did have werewolves. All righty.
Shut up, Pistachio.
Arthur C. Clarke. Oh, I know him. Not know him, but I know of his work. Wait, didn't he do Lucifer's Hammer? Who did Lucifer's Hammer? The freaking hell did that? No, Arthur C. Clarke. I know he did. What was it that he did? There's a famous story that Arthur C. Clarke did. I recognize the name, but I probably could look in the book and find out a list of the books that he's already read. Against Childhood Inn, City Stair, Dolphin Island. Okay, Expedition to Earth. Yep. Hammer of God. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Hammer of God. Let's see the other side. So Berlin Mars, The Sentinel, and 2001: Space Odyssey. That's it. That's where I'm hearing it from. Yeah. There you go. That's where I heard the Arthur C. Clarke. It's 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is not it. This is Rama 2. Yeah. Years ago, the enormous enigmatic alien spacecraft called Rama sailed through our solar system as mind-boggling proof that life existed or had existed elsewhere in the universe. Now, at the dawn of the 23rd century, another ship is discovered hurtling towards us. A crew of Earth's best and brightest minds is assembled to rendezvous with the massive vessel. They are armed with everything we know about Raman technology and culture, but nothing can prepare them for what they are about to encounter aboard Rama 2. One thing I know about Ramen culture is that you need to sprinkle a few raw noodles on top of the cooked ones in order to give it a little crunch. It adds texture. All right. And today, away, my heart's on fire. I find my duty hard to do today. King Called Revived by Christopher Stashif. Alrighty. Completely revised by the author, the second book in his Warlock series. I don't think it has anything to do with the video game. And here I am still trying to get the stickers off. There we go. This is King Kobold Revived. The Warlock in Spite of Himself, The Warlock Unlocked are also two books from this. Maybe we have them, maybe we don't. I don't know. We're finding out. John Morrissey, A Voice for Princess, in which has answered the question, can a scholarly wizard find true happiness and marital bliss at the youthful age of 160? No? Gail says no. Gail is law. I have learned that. Anytime that you wake up in your 20s with a gun to your penis, you realize the person holding the gun is now the boss. Yeah. I love her still. I love her still. It's not, I'm not here out of fear. All right, let's see. Here you go. This is A Voice for Princess. All right. The Torch of Honor. This is by Roger McBride Allen. Vanna shipped a sudden siege, and the only way out was to fight. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, here we go. And this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when doves die. There you go. And yeah, it looks like bugs got to the cover there. Yeah. It is a danger. There we go. Oh my goodness gracious. What else? What else? I was inspired by the last auction to pull out my copies of Spirit of Wonder and read them again. Spirit of Wonder. What is Spirit of Wonder? Spirit of Wonder, Spirit of Light. H. Beam Piper from First Paperback Publications. The Oleran Soldier, Silicon Body, Four Arms, Lizard's Head. The Terrans are too far from home to laugh. It's the Uller Uprising. This is what I was talking about. 10 cents. I don't know if are these called dime store novels anymore. I mean, since dime stores don't really exist. But that's what I think of them. Paul O. Williams, The Dome in the Forest. Loved by some, tolerated by many, hated by a few. The founding brought gifts and the fear of even greater horrors. Paul O. Williams, the author of Northwall. All righty. There you go. This is the first time in print. Oh, here's another thing that I've heard of. Mad Cheap Shots, an out-of-focus photo album by Paul Peter Porges. Why put on stickers onto a book that's hard to come off? All righty. This one I'm gonna have to get a wipe or something to wet it down to get this thing. I don't think it's just peeling off here. Yeah. There we go. Mad Cheap Shots. Oh, they're like one-page jokes. The Little Bighorn shortly before General Custer's arrival. Manga published by Dark. Well, I was inspired by. Manga published by Dark. Oh, okay, okay, that's right. Okay, yeah, I had that one copy there. I remember. Aunt F, after her self-administered homebody. Why did they? That's just weird. Mom's attempt to pass her driver's test. I don't think I'm selling this book. Alrighty. I mean, I'm reading it and it's just, I don't know what the jokes are supposed to be. Let's see. A Western by Jack Barton, Arthur of Day of the 44. Taming Wild Horses or The Wild Bunch. It was all the same to ex-Ranger Tom McVeigh. And this is, it's called The Mustang. No, The Mustangers. Okay. why put a sticker over the title? It doesn't make sense. You put it, oh, well, it doesn't have a barcode, but at least in the back on the corner, right? Don't mess up the cover. You want the cover to be clean when you're doing these. So here's what I'm doing. I'm doing an unboxing. These are all dime store novels. I got these for free. And if you see something, everything is just starting at $1. If you see something, say something. Nobody said anything yet. If you're part of the comic book auctions, whatever you get is going to go with your books, your comics. If not, I'll send them along in something. Ooh, this one is not in great shape. Jack Barton. And how old is this? 1957. There you go. This is early Silver Age right here, kids. All right. But what was I saying? Oh, I was talking about, yeah, even if you're watching this second after it's been done and you want something, put it in the comments. Yeah. Let's see. Yesterday, I got my first manga, Furin. I like the show so much, I decided to get it with my store credit. So far, it's pretty much the exact same thing, but in black and white manga format. But I don't mind. It's a great story. I can't read it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe if someday someone takes manga and just puts it the way books are supposed to be read, I'll get into some of these. Like I like Attack on Titan. I've seen the live action movies, seen a couple of cartoons. I like that one. What else that we've watched? I mean, obviously, like the ones I grew up with, Battle of the Planets or Gatchaman and Speed Racer and all that. But My Hero Academia was okay. You know, I would love to read these things, but I'm just not a big fan of the format. So, yeah. Alan Dean Foster. Well, there's another name we know. And this is the continuing adventures of Finks and his mighty mini drag. Yeah, that's what it says. Mini drag Pip. I guess if you know the books, you know what a mini drag is. But it's called Blood Hype. There you go. David Brin, another author. He did The Postman, by the way. I think he did The Postman. Yeah, David Brin. Yeah. I have a friend named David Brin, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool. So I picked up a couple of his books. I do remember it was The Postman, by the way, if you ever saw the Kevin Costner movie, way different than the novel. In the novel, there ends up being some sort of supercomputer that's running things. It's weird. The River of Time brings together 11 of David Brin's finest short story works, including The Crystal Spheres, winner of Hugo Award for Best Short Story, and 4 new stories published here for the first time, each with an afterword by the author. I actually dig that. Like I said, I'm a big Stephen King fan. I've read a lot of his books, and on his short story books, I always liked it when he put like a little author's note and told, you know, I got this story because I was on the toilet and this really big poop came out, and I looked at it and said, what if it tried to get back in? And then I wrote Dreamcatcher. It was a book that came from shit, and it was a book that was shit. He didn't say that. I said that last part. There you go. Here are powerful tales of heroism and humanity, playful excursions into the realms of fancy and profound meditation on time, memory. Okay. Like I said, this is... I brought this up earlier. Now I've got more people here who could actually corroborate. But have you ever been going through a box of stuff? Oh, I'm going to throw some stuff out. And then you just stop because you have to check out, maybe read a book, maybe do whatever. In some cases, I am actually fighting the urge to just stop and read some of these. Yeah, Dreamcatcher was crap. It was not good. It wasn't good. I don't know if I'd say it was his bad book because his worst book, because I have never made it past the first third of Tommy Knockers. I think I have to count that as just for the fact that I never made it through. At least Dreamcatcher I read all the way through. But Tommy Knockers, yeah, never made it. I don't remember the last book I read, but there's a whole bunch. I think the last one was something from a Buick 8. That was the last for me. After that, I just stopped reading, you know. If there wasn't art that went to it, you know. But that's where I stopped with Stephen King. Otherwise, I read everything that man had written up to that moment. And I know now he's actually written some sort of mystery series and all that kind of stuff. Oh, no, that's not true. I bought the short stories for my daughter. She likes Stephen King as well. So like Sunset or something like that. The short story books I got. The Life and Times of John Barrymore. Good Night, Sweet Prince. John Barrymore. Isn't that like Drew Barrymore's grandfather or something? He's an actor. There you go. Will that fit here? Yes, will. Alrighty, I am about done with this box. Not done with this. Oh, hey! All right, yes. This is something I could say. If you get a chance to read these books, do so. I love the movie. I got to tell you, I love the movie. That's not the character in these books. That was almost a detriment to me. But there was, it's Fletch. Fletch and the Widow Bradley. I love these novels. I love Fletch novels. There was a more book accurate, excuse me, the hat is making my head itch. There's a more book accurate Fletch movie. It starred John, what's his name? John Hamm, the dude from Mad Men. And when I heard that, I was like, perfect. There is no better casting for Fletch, especially if you're doing book Fletch. There's no perfect catching. And I watched it. I was like, oh, this is really good. But then I thought, you know what? I wish they threw in more Chevy Chase one-liners. You know, I think that at this point, yeah, I was trained because I've seen Fletch the movie about a gajillion times. I love the Fletch movie. I like the Fletch sequel, but I also enjoy the books. If you ever get a chance to read Fletch, this is good stuff. This really is. I might leave this one out and read this one. Like I said, if I start reading these things, I'm going to turn on the camera. Here it goes, kids. It's story time hour, and let's go. Maybe that actually, you know what? I thought Lionel Barrymore was her grandfather. I heard he was actually a butthole on It's a Wonderful Life. I heard the same thing. Maybe who is John Barrymore then? I wonder if she is any kind of relation. This is by L. Neil Smith. It's called The Crystal Empire. There you go. Oh, hello to Jim. How you doing, man? Okay, I think that is that as far as this box is concerned. All right. Let me get another one. I've got a whole bunch of boxes that comics have come in, just sitting around. I'm putting Dom books in some of these. I am actually out of short boxes again, so I have to get some extra dough so I could buy, because they're like $100 now for the decent ones. You can get some for 60 or I think 70, but they are paper freaking thin. I don't know if any of you guys got them. These paper thin boxes that yeah, they are paper thin. But yeah, so when I get an extra 60, I'm gonna buy some more boxes and start sending stuff out. All right. Except for Jim, I've already got some of your books boxed up, and I've got some of Dom's already boxed up, so they're ready to go. All right, let's see what's next. Oh, once again, if you haven't read Fletch, read Fletch. If you haven't seen the movie, what the is wrong with you? Seriously, that movie is awesome. All righty, we're almost done with this box. Okay. Let's see. Paul Anderson, Time Patrolman. I've never heard this. First publication in any form of this particular novel. Once again, if you see something, hey, I want that book, go right on ahead. Just say it. If you're watching this after it's been posted, put it in the chat, and we'll do a deal on the PayPals. Alrighty, the Time Patrolman. There you go. Away, away. My heart's on fire. I find my duty hard to do today. Duty. Okay. Here we go. Come on. Sit flat a little bit. Thank you. John G. Henry and Jack, author of New York Times bestselling series The Lost Fleet as Jack Campbell. A Just Determination, a Paul Sinclair novel. Okay. Thrilling excitement on every page. Captain David E. Meadows, USN, author of Dark Pacific series. There we go. Oh, we have another one of those werewolf books. This is Patricia Briggs, Cry Wolf. Patricia Briggs, always enchants her readers, is the USA Today's review. There we go. What else do we have here? Tomorrow, I was going to do a pop-up at 25% auction. You know, it's not from this last auction, but the week before. I figured I would just put those in. If you guys want to give a shot, it's one of those. Anytime I do a 25, it's going to be like once you hit $20, it just drops to 15. You know, we're going to do 25% off anything above 20, basically. I have it scheduled for tomorrow. I'm going to say maybe because it is my day off on Thursdays. We are planning on going out on Friday, but I've got the Detective Comics scheduled for Friday. Me and Gail are going to go to another city, go to the zoo. And I'm going to make sure that she actually brings me home. But I know Gail has to work on Saturday, so we may be home in time for the Detective Comics ranking. Tomorrow is up in the air. England, Alien Tongue, a novel by Stephen Lay with an essay by Rudu Rucker. There we go. And Jim actually read the werewolf books. I've got like 4, maybe 5 of them. When it comes to that, if anybody's interested in it's a series, I will want to sell the books as a series. My plan is after I'm done here, because this really is the first time I'm going through a couple of these boxes. I think the one on the bottom may be the only one that I actually went through the Westerns. But I'm going to put these on eBay and in my flea market. I'm also going to start doing that with the Disney pins, the comics and so forth, so on. Patricia Briggs, Silverborn, Mercy Thomas. So it's this, I guess, is novel number 6 from the werewolf series. All righty. There we go. If you do see something, I'm starting everything at $1. Just to make things easier, or just saying it's a claim, you know, it's a claim. Just say, hey, I want that one. The Alpha and Omega series is meh. Okay, Gail is going to take over the rankings. She's going to trade the old man and the bird for a monkey and a big cat, or a big cat. Fred Saberhagen, the Berserker, author of Sword Trilogy. This is the Berserker Throne. There you go. I have not heard of many of these. All righty. Death Merchant, Chinese, number 4 in the Incredible Adventures of the Death Merchant. Chinese conspiracy. Richard Chameleon faces the impossible again as the Red Chinese threaten to destroy our space program. There you go. Dime store novels. I read a couple of it was some guy on a was it a motorbike or a horse? A long time ago. It was a guy writer. Like when I read it, it was like, okay, the testosterone is just going to pour off of it. This is 1973. I was 3 years old. All righty. Kidokis. Next up, we've got, I actually pulled other books out first. The Other Human Race, this startling new novel about a man versus a super intelligent race of alien beings by H. Beam Piper, the author of Little Fuzzy. There you go. Charles Dickens, The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Now, I've heard of Charles Dickens. Can't quite place it. Charles Dickens. Please, sir, I want some more. More? Alrighty. Every sperm is sacred. That's not actually in Oliver the Musical. That's Monty Python. Okay. Well, like I said, sometimes Mac Bolan, Doomsday Disciple, based on the character created by Don Pendleton. It's an executioner novel. A lot of people, not me. I'm not making any claims. Some people, a lot of people, think that The Punisher is actually based on the executioner. Just saying. They're probably right. I know that. Oh, what's this? Hold on. Oh, it's a okay. It's a reader survey. I was wondering there was a cardboard in it. 15 years ago today, Sony tweeted Sony Pictures to release Spider-Man 4 on May 6th, 2011. 20 years ago today, there was a band called Sgt. Pepper, and they began to play. Not a lot of people know that. Happy to educate. That's what this is. This is infotainment. You're actually being educated as you get entertained. It's funny to go back and watch the clip from The Life of Brian or Roberta. I want to be a woman. I know, right? It's especially nowadays. Wow. They were ahead of their time in a few instances. Yeah. Hugo and Nebula Award-winning author of Accidental Time Machine, Joe Haldeman in Mars Bound. If there was a Fort Knox for the science fiction writers who really matter, we'd have to lock Haldeman up there. All righty. There we go. Let's see. L. Ron Hubbard, another one I've heard of. Okay. L. Ron Hubbard wrote a short story about his mother. She was old. Bitch wouldn't get out of a shoe. He's like, I don't know what to do. You have so many kids. This is Writers of the Future, Volume 10. So I guess this is a collection again. Contains 17 exciting brand new stories and prize-winning illustrations, plus special features on writing and art by L. Ron Hubbard, Dave Wolverton, Kevin J. Anderson, Octavia Butler, and Julia Schwartz. I actually know these names. Who else do we have here? Yuri Galitzin, William Sola, Dennis Ron Hubbard, Jesse J. Flores, Jody C. McCurran, Brian Lee Durfee. Not a lot of names I do. Julia Schwartz. Yep. Some not. There we go. All right. What is this? 13 Above the Night, it looks like, is what it's going to say. I am taking the time, by the way, to peel the stickers off of these books. I use the same kind of stickers. I don't actually want to have anybody have to tear the book off. Stunning Flights by Isaac Asimov, Judith Merrill, Fritz Lieber, C.M. Kornbluth, Gordon Dixonson. This actually has a pretty decent cover for being there you go. Another book of short stories, sci-fi short stories. I've got sci-fi, I've got war, I've got Western, all sorts of stuff today. Alrighty. Oh, this is missing part of the cover. This is called The Other, and it spent 6 months on the bestseller list by Thomas Tieran. It's one of those that just has, it's unfair to typecast The Other as a horror story. It's so ingenious and well written. Well, what the fuck is it about? It doesn't have that on the back. It's just a whole, it's a 20th Century Fox motion picture now too. All right. E.W. Schmidt with Rommel in the Desert. It's the Rommel in the jungle. In Victory and Defeat with the commander of the Africa Corps, excuse me. There you go. And then we have Sons of the Bear God by Norval W. Page, a novel of heroic fantasy in the Conan tradition. Oh my gosh, yeah, it almost looks like, is this Frazetta? Because it looks like at least a knockoff of Frazetta. When is this? This was holy shit, copyright 19. Oh, okay, renewed in 1967. So this is actually 1939. But the book itself was printed in 1967. Dude, Jim, if I had Destroyer books, they would not make it to you. I would have to have doubles. There's a book shop in Muncie that I'm thinking of going to so I can pick them back up. Ever since and I'm going to get those magazines too. But ever since I got those magazines, it made me, it renewed my Remo Williams interest. I'll keep an eye out though. And if there are doubles, like what's your limit for a Destroyer novel? And if I can get them, I'll get them to you. 1969, The Alien Ones by Leo Brett. They traveled across a wilderness of space to the harsh planet Orko. There you go. Now, some I know with the Remo Williams there, I remember talking to some people at the comic shop and they mentioned how Remo Williams, the Destroyer novels, got boring because he could do anything and nobody could beat him. They were fun. Thieves World, the fourth Thieves World novel. It's called Shadow Spawn by Andrew J. Offutt, Offutt. There you go, Shadow Spawn. And once again, if you see something you like, just say something. If you're watching this on the replay after it's been posted, put it in the comments. Alrighty. This is a 35-cent novel. He was alone with a wounded girl in the savage wilderness, no weapon but a knife, and every man's hand against him. Fort Deception by Cliff Farrell. Alrighty. There we go. All right, up to 5. If I can find one. If I can find them cheaper than that. 13 Great Stories of Science Fiction by Theodore Sturgeon, Arthur C. Clarke, Damon Knight, Paul Anderson, Wyndham, Algis Burtis, others. Alrighty. There you go. Algis Birdie's War is Over, The Light by Paul Anderson, Compassion Circuit by John Wyndham, Silence Please by Arthur C. Clarke, Allegory by William T. Powers, Alan Nelson, soap opera. Shipping Clark by William Morrison, Technological Retreat by G.C. Edmondson. I haven't heard of a lot of these. There you go. Alrighty. And this is the Heavy Water Raid. It is a savagely exciting as the Guns of Navarone will hold you spellbound to the climax, to the explosive climax. Thank you very much. There we go. Chun is worth it, just ask him. Yeah. This is Murder and Blackmail Blast a College Campus by Richard Deming. The Mod Squad. Holy shit. It's called Spy-In. It's a Mod Squad novel. Okay. There you go. For those of you who are old farts like ourselves, and that's even older than me, by the way. I saw it in reruns myself. I don't know if there's any older farts here who actually watched the Mod Squad in first run. There you go. The Mod Squad, ladies and gentlemen. Read the novel, see the explosive ABC TV series starring Michael Cole, Clarence Williams, and Peggy Lipton. All right. Open up your mind and see like me. Open up your damn, you're free. Listen to your heart and you'll find love, 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 love. Gaudy Night, a Lord Peter Wimsey mystery with Harriet Vane. Oh my goodness gracious. What are we at? We're at $1.20 already, kids. There we go. Dorothy Slayers. There we go. Gaudy Night. Never heard of it. As shown in Lord Peter Wimsey's the 10-part PBS mystery series based on 3 novels by Dorothy L. Slayer, Strong Poison, Have His Carcass, and Gaudy Night, starring Edward Petherbridge as Lord. Okay. So it's a little mystery novel, not a little mystery novel. This one's actually an actual book. That one's not just a dime store novel. Some of these are actual books. This one's kind of thick. What is this? The Life and Death of Adolf Hitler by Robert Payne, the gripping drama of the evil genius who almost conquered the world. That's what they say at the Chicago Tribune. This is the story of Adolf Hitler from birth to in a tiny Australian village to his flaming death with his mistress in a Berlin bunker. All righty, so there you go. Little history for you. Here's another. Oh, yeah, I know for a fact this is a good book. I've read this a bunch. Stephen King's It. This is Dale Brown, and this is the author of, I think I'm going to, and when I fill this box here, I think I'm going to call it, just because I don't have a lot of boxes, and I'm really kind of fenced in right now. Yeah. The Life and Supposed Death. Okay. Yeah. I hear he went on to model for some artists' villain portfolios. This is called Battleborn. It is by Dale Brown, and it's got a rip on the cover. There you go. That one probably won't make it anywhere. I'll end up getting rid of it. This got a rip in the back cover. And this is Vendetta Cold, a breathtaking Texas saga by Mike Blake. All righty. These stickers must have been on here for a while. Now they're getting tough. I'm on the second box. Like I said, I'm going to call it when I fill up the other one. But this sticker doesn't want to come off. Damn. There you go. Little Western novel. That's not what I heard. I heard he went to Argentina. All righty. Let's see. What else? I've got a lot of this. I'm on the next box, so I'm dealing with a lot of books on top of the ones that are laying flat. Railroading in the Northwest Pines by Adolf Gutterling, a tab paperback, Railway History Quarterly. So this is kind of a pamphlet book. It's got a when was this made? Published April issue. I'm not seeing here we go. Volume 1, November 2, April of 1964. There we go. Probably have to put that in the on eBay. And then we have Roger Zelany's My Name is Legion. He could be anyone he chose to be, wherever and whenever he wanted to. Not a bad cover for a confidential agent on assignment. There we go. All right. Dang, another Adolf Gwyn's. Okay. Robert Shecky, A Breathtaking Voyage. This is his first novel in 8 years. Robert Shecky, A Breathtaking Voyage of Something and Wonder. Wit and Wonder through a magical realms of the minds. It's called Options. Alrighty. I've never heard of this. Let's see. Sorry for taking so long getting the stickers off. There you go. And then we have Minister of Death by Quentin Reynolds. Oh, no, Minister of Death, Quentin Reynolds, Ephraim Katz, and Zwei Aldubi. For the first time, the full $5 book, which recounts the entire story, the pursuit and capture of the most notorious criminal of our time, Adolf Eichmann. Maybe that's the Adolf you're talking about. There you go. I wonder if eBay would even allow me to sell some of these World War II books. They should. One thing I always thought, why are we burying this? Those who are doomed, those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it. The world's greatest fantasy classic, Camelot, and Romance and Wizardry and War by the author of the book Merlin, T.H. White, the once and future king. The whole world knows and loves his book. It is a magical epic of King Arthur and the Shining of Camelot, Merlin and the Owl and Guinevere, of beasts who talk and men who fly, and of wizardry and war. It is the book of all things lost and wonderful and sad. It's the fantasy masterpiece by which all others are judged. Okay, there we go. That is some incredible hype. Let's see, I need a skinny book. What do we got here? This is Peter Dickinson, The Weathermonger, a deft mixture of fantasy and realism. Not that doesn't say real. Oh yeah, realism. Okay, written with flair. Saturday Review. There we go. From the 20th century to Dark Ages overnight, such a fate that befell Britain 5 years from now. All righty. It's about modern day. Oh, England already fell. Okay. Has to be old. No one names their kid Adolf anymore for some reason. I can't figure it out. Yeah. Oh, this one is mine. It got put in the box. Now, why would you put a store sticker on a book page? I never understood. Oh, we want to make sure nobody steals it. We're going to put it on a book page. But anyway, this is Assassin's Creed Black Flag by Oliver Bowden. There you go. And then we have The World and Thorn by Damon Knight. Alrighty. Yeah. If you want a great WW2 book, Alan Burgess's 7 Men at Daybreak. Okay. There you go. Away, away, hunt afar. I find my duty hard to do today. Beanstalker and Other Hilarious Scary Tales. This is a kid's book by Kirsten White. It's actually Scholastic. It feels like it's got water damage. Some of these, I'm going to go through these again as I put my own stickers on these for the flea market. And I know some of these aren't going to make it. Some of them just have to go to, yeah, this one's all bent up. You can see the waviness got wet. Some of this just might not make it. All right. The Story of a Bridge Too Far. The battle retold in over 150 exciting photographs by William Goldman's. The most spectacular war film ever made. William Goldman's The Story of a Bridge Too Far. I love Bridge Too Far, by the way. If you haven't seen it, do so. It was called Operation Market Garden. It will probably go down as the last major battle in which any of the old romantic notions of war were held true. There were stunningly few villains during Market Garden. If there was any decency in war, it was displayed here. In this miasmal mistake plague conflict in which allies lost. Out of this genuinely different irony-filled material, producer Joseph E. Levine, edging into his 70s, came out of brief retirement armed with 3 determinations. 1, he was going to undertake a movie as big as any ever made. And 2, he was going to finance it with his own money. And he was going to see that the film would be in profit before it even reached the screen. How he made the gamble work is the subject of the book that follows. So basically, this is a book about the making of A Bridge Too Far. That's kind of cool. That's another one I want to read. Alrighty. Let's see. I just finished all 5 seasons of the Batman from 2004 on Tubi. Pretty dang good, especially the first 2 seasons. That was when it leaned into its unique telling. Yeah, there's some. That was pretty good from what I've seen. I don't think I've seen it all. I also know it's on HBO Plus, and I was thinking, not HBO Plus, HBO Max. I was thinking about checking it out there. This one's just sitting here. Andre Norton, The Ordeal in the Overwear. There's a lot of sci-fi books here. All right. Here you go. When an outlaw seized control of the colonial planet Demeter, Cheris Nordholm decided that it could no longer be her home. So she contracted herself into the service as an off-world trader who assigned her to buying cloth from mysterious wyverns. There you go. Okay. I don't know what I was supposed to gain from that. That just seemed like oh, okay. The House on Garibaldi Street. The never before told story of the pursuit and capture of Adolf Eichmann, the Nazi arch criminal. You know, these are nonfiction books, or maybe they're fiction of nonfiction circumstances. But seems like somebody was really into the history. Here you go. Oh, let's see. I'm getting to the tip of this box, and once I'm done, I'm going to call it a day. This is The Roaring Road by Gene Olson, a Mayflower book, it says. A lot of these have 50-cent cover prices. I think when I was a teenager buying my own books, it was about $4 a book, and that was in the 80s. Yeah, it's a racing novel. let's see, does it have a date? This is 1962. Yeah. There you go. Only if I've got something skinny. My babysitter bites again. My babysitter is a vampire. Okay, definitely for kids. But what you gonna do? I guess these are the ones I'm gonna close on, huh? Alrighty. My throat's getting a little raw as well, but yeah. This is kind of cute. My babysitter is a vampire. And just to go along with that, my babysitter bites again. Starting with season 3, it started getting more like every other Batman show, recruiting the Bat family. Gordon shows up and meeting the Justice League and Superman. Maybe they thought they needed to steer into normalcy. This one's too weird. Nowadays, I don't think it would last. I think there's a lot of people who, it's kind of weird. We're in a moment, I think, that a show would get raked over the coals for being just your normal average Batman, but then it would get raked over the coals for taking a chance, being a little bit outside the Batman box. Tony Hayes said, did I hear someone mention Adolf Eichmann? Yes. I had a book, The House on Garibaldi Street, about his capture, about somebody trying to hunt him down and capture him. There have been a few World War II books. Hold on just a second. What are we at? We're at the 135 mark. I've got another empty box now. And it would help, I guess, if I moved it over here. I am locked in by comic books, by just these boxes and everything. You can see little, there you go. So I'm a little bit claustrophobic here. Those characters kind of replaced his previous unique supporting character stories like Detective Yin and Bennett. Okay. Talking about the cartoon and everything. Okay, you know what? Let me see if I can't close this one up. There we go. There we go. Get that one there. What are we trying to do? What are we trying to do? Okay, and that goes there. All right. Let's bring this one. You know what? Let's keep going. If you guys don't mind, I mean, I've had the same 7 people here, so how much for the book? That is a great story. How they captured him. Robert Duvall played him in a movie. Oh, any of the books, I'm starting at $1. So if you want me to grab that one, I will do so later. I'll write it down and I will pull the book out later, and I'll make sure it gets in with your comic book collection there when we send that. Should I put you down for it there, Tony Hayes? Oh, what was that called? Eichmann. Chase book. Dude. Oh, Jim. I will get your books in boxes. They might not all be short boxes. I know a lot of them will be. I will get your books in boxes. You tell me when, you tell me where. 30 minutes from. The only if it's on Friday, that's the only time we have. You know what? If it's on Friday, I'll tell Gail, and instead of going to the zoo, we'll just stay here. I'll take her to a fancy restaurant, throw a burger down her throat. She'll have a great time. I might even let her feed herself. Yeah. But no, Jim, yes, let's do that. Tony Hayes says, yeah, okay, so I put you down for it there, Tony Hayes. All the books are $1. I figure it's a claim thing over an auction thing. We haven't had, you're the first person to say anything an hour and 40 minutes in. So if somebody wants it, say it. It'll become an auction if there's a thing, like if somebody comes up, like 2 people want it and it's like back to back. All right, we'll just say that. All right, give enough of a chance. Otherwise, yeah, we'll just do the claim thing. Meaning like if it's within the same minute, okay, we'll do the auction thing. Otherwise, yeah, if it's like a minute or so after, or 2 minutes, no. Holiness revealed, a devout, I'm sorry, I can't read now. 30 days of deeper devotion. This one's not going anywhere. Oh, Holiness Revealed, a devotional, study in Hebrew by Amy Reardon. I've heard that name. The book of Hebrew is complex and full of tightly argued theology. As literary work, it is a masterful, but as a spiritual and theological guide, it can be quite challenging. However, many scholarly writings assist in the wading through it. Okay, so it's basically a study of the Bible. I was trying to think of, the New Testament, the Old Testament is what I was trying to think of. Okay, it won't be Friday. Cool. Just give me a heads up, man. We're even contemplating about the auction this week. Gail was like, well, just, you could take that day off. I was planning to have an auction tomorrow, but like a pop-up, but I might not. That's my day off usually. Very much like Monday. I think even on Thursday. I don't really have a day off, because when I say I have a day off, what I'm doing, like I'll sit down on the floor here, I'll pull up a thing of comic book boxes and I'll peel stickers off, put price tags on, put them in the flea market, get an auction ready, get books all boxed up. I actually don't really have a day off. I just call it a day off because I stay off the computer. This is Hugo novelist C.J. Sherry, The Tree of Swords and Jewels. There we go. Alrighty, what's next? Let's see. The Saint on the Spanish. Oh, The Saint. Okay, now we're getting into some Val Kilmer. Or Roger Moore, if you are a fan of the TV show. Val Kilmer played the Saint in the movies. It didn't go anywhere. He actually gave up Batman to play the Saint. There you go. Let's see what's next. Let's get some more World War II stuff, I guess. Oh, hold on. Even its Joker has grown on me. I used to hate that version of the Joker as a kid. He was a bit more capably of hand-to-hand fighting Batman and had unique designs with his overly long sleeve. I thought they actually kind of steered into the clownish aesthetic beyond just the face, you know. This is called the Gray Wolf, Gray Sea. It's aboard the German submarine U-124 in World War II. With a foreword by Gross Admiral Karl Donitz, commander German submarine operations in World War II. So I was thinking these were novels about World War II, like fictional. This is another one. This is about World War II, as in the history of. So there you go. Soldiers Revolt. This is supercharged new thriller by the author of Night of Generals, Hans Helmut Kirst. Soldiers Revolt. I guess it's the Tom Cruise, you know, that movie that came out. They were the heroes of Nazi Germany, among them Field Marshal Rommel and the Desert Fox, Count Klaus Stauffenberg, Chief of Staff to the Commander-in-Chief, General Ludwig Beck, Germany's leading strategist, bound and conscious by their military and personal loaths to the Führer, agonized by the prospect of Germany in ruins, dedicated and desperate, they swore to save their nation in the only way possible. They, the elite of the Third Reich, would murder Adolf Hitler. Yeah, that's the, what was it, Valkyrie? It's a story of Valkyrie. Poul Anderson again. And this is called The High Crusade, one of science fiction's authentic geniuses, says the Chicago Times. This is the 50th anniversary edition of this book. There we go. And the Israel Mossad does not mess around, says Tony Hayes. Righty. Oh, sorry, little man. Sorry, little man. I woke you up. Destiny and the Dolphins, an Appearer world, has a forest of dangers. Nope, she's wearing a bikini top. Oh, there's boobies on this. Nope. I mean, there's boobies, but they're in bikini top. There you go. This is Stuka pilot with 2,300 or 2,530 operational flights. Rudel was Germany's leading wartime pilot. This is history of the air war against Russia. There you go. Learn everything you need to know about the World War II from these novels. This is Blood. In what is that? Blood. The fuck is this? What is that word? I can't read it. Okay. Inoubl. Ennoble? Is that, are you guys getting that? No, it's got a U in it. It's not immobile. Okay, there's got to be written down somewhere. Blood immobile? Ennoble? What the fuck is this book called? That is so weird. Why don't we make up? Here we go. Blood Trouble. Sometimes I worry about myself. I do. I used to be smart. What the fuck happened? I don't know. I have no idea. I used to be really, really smart. Something had turned my brain to mush. Like I said, I may do a 25% auction tomorrow. The first lot is right here. There you go. I mean, it's got the $2, the 3s, the 5s, and big dogs as well. But I had nowhere to put the magazines. I actually got 2 magazines new. I figured I'll just throw that in. That's the Starlog with Superman 2 and Savage Tales #1. Yeah. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. What do we got here? What we got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach, which is how they want it. Well, they get it. And I don't like this any more than you do. No man, by the way, can eat 50 eggs. Crispin Magicker. Oh, Crispin Magicker by Mark M. Lowenthal. There we go. There we are. And let's see, 900 Days, The Siege of Leningrad. This is Harrison E. Salisbury. All righty. The children live in Leningrad. I was born in 44. Cold War kid. Okay, let's see. Yep. A Cold War kid in McCarthy times. Stop 'em at the 38th parallel. Blast those yellow reds to hell. Cold War kids were hard to kill. Under their decks in an air raid drill. Haven't they heard we'd won the war? What do they keep on fighting for? Jude DeVreaux, passion swept her into the arms of heavenly love. Velvet Angel. All right. Speaking of dolphins, I recommend David Brin's sci-fi saga, The Uplift series, Sundiver, Startide Rising, and Uplift War. It features enhanced dolphins, chimpanzees. Very fascinating, says Eric Boyd. There was a second series as well, but haven't read those books yet by David Brin. I was talking about how I got The Postman a while back because I have a friend named David Brin, and I thought it was kind of funny. So when I saw it, so long and thanks for all the fish. Love them. Those are some awesome novels. I wish the movie did better, so they would have continued it because I actually enjoyed The Hitchhiker's Guide. But yeah, I love the trilogy. I got to admit, I haven't read beyond the trilogy too much, but yeah, good stuff. Alrighty. And yes, hello to Eric Green, not Eric Green, Eric and Boyd. In My Seat, a pilot story from September 10th through 11th by Megan Ann Scheiberg. Okay. This is still wrapped. I don't know, but there you go. Scheiberg went to bed September 10th, 2001 with his bags packed and ready to go. He was scheduled to be the pilot on American Airlines Flight 11 the next day. When he woke up in the morning, however, a rare last-minute substitution meant someone else would pilot that plane, the first plane that hit the World Trade Center on 9/11. In My Seat, Steve True stories told by his wife, Megan. He wasn't on the flight. I mean, I guess there has to be a story of maybe guilt. You know, like survivor's guilt. He was supposed to be there and other people died in his place. A Made in Jersey novel, wound tight. The man he wants is the one he can't have. What? Well, I don't think anyone here is going to be bidding on this one. Great. There you go. Let's see. World War II, the Clever Teen's Guide to World War II. I want to hear the Smartass's Guide to World War II. Oh, the Modern Day Teen's Guide to World War II. Okay, so there were these peaceful people who wanted to help out Europe. And they wanted to by getting all of the Zionists out of their countries. Then America, the true aggressors, let's see. Hey, E, is your YouTube algorithm also trying to get you into an AI girlfriend subscription where you talk to slutty versions of iconic cartoon girls? Because that's half of what it tries with me. No. My YouTube algorithm is not doing that to me. Not yet, anyway. We used to have a lot of porn bots come into the chat. I'm actually glad they got rid of that. But no dating service or anything. Occasionally, do you know what I'm getting now? I'm getting Democrats. I am getting a lot of people I normally wouldn't listen to or watch or anything. They're the ones that go, okay, you know, he's in the Epstein files 86 million times. It doesn't matter what the Republicans say about what it says, what we think it is, or what we feel. There's a lot. I've seen a couple. I put one on. I was like, what the fuck is this about? And the dude said, I feel. Who fucking cares how you feel? Just look at the fucking facts. I don't know. Anyway, World War II. The Clever Teen's Guide to World War II. So yeah, this box of books came to me. This guy was just like, they don't sell for me. You want to try? Okay. He just said, take them. So why not? You know, I figured there might be something in here you guys like. That's why I'm showing them off on camera, going through them on camera, seeing what I got, taking the stickers off. If you do, cool. If not, I'm just going to price them, put them on the bookshelf at my booth. And if they don't sell after that, I'll just donate them somewhere, you know. I hear high schools need books so the kids would learn. I keep getting trans dating site ads, says Jim. Damn. This is the Goebbels Diaries. Utterly fascinating. Okay, it's Hans Goebbels. There you go. All righty. The Arms of Crump. The Arms of Krupp. William Manchester. Okay. The most fascinating study of Germany since the rise and fall of the Third Reich. Whoever the guy got these books from, man, they were really the history of Germany. I hope it's because I want to learn about that, you know, that how. I mean, I hope he's not reading these as a how-to novel. There you go. The Ultra Secret. This is beyond any fiction thriller. The secret that won World War II, now revealed for the first time. An astounding account that will make us revise our history books. It's by F.W. Winterbotham. There you go. Oh, right. And then we have Hitler and Nazism, his life, his politics, his meteoric career, the bloody reign of terror he loosed upon the world. I mean, after a while, I kind of getting uncomfortable owning so many. There we go. I mean, is this... there is an algorithm that searches for certain words that blocks videos. I wonder if this is going to be one of them. This is Herbert Malloy Mason Jr., The Rise of the Luftwaffe. I mean, this guy was reading every freaking thing. This is so weird. There you go. I either report or block every time I see one, and it's increasing the number I get. Because you're interacting. Maybe that's it. I don't know if that's true, but maybe they're reading it as interaction and that you actually, you know, like it. I don't know. Not really like it, but I don't know how it works. This is called Blood Test by Jonathan Kellerman. All righty. The under my thumb here is getting all raw because I've been scraping these things off. Blood Test by Jonathan Kellerman. Let's see. We have The Life and Death of the Luftwaffe, Germany's lost victories of the air by the commander of the bombing forces. There you are. And let's see, what's this one? Rangers in World War II. I could tell you about Rangers in Vietnam. I got some firsthand, well, not firsthand, I got some secondhand knowledge from my father, as a matter of fact. Father, weird thing, he's got Alzheimer's. And he forgets a lot of stuff. But he remembers Vietnam vividly. Like he actually asked my mom, "Are we married? How did we meet?" You know, he asked that, but he can tell stories about Vietnam. The weird thing is, when I was growing up, my dad made Vietnam sound like Hogan's Heroes or MASH. You know, it's very more MASH than Hogan's Heroes, because MASH sometimes was actually a bloody show. By the way, bloody show is a nickname for a woman's period. Not talking about that, but my dad, when we were growing up, he only gave us the fun stories, the funny things that happened to him in Vietnam. And he really didn't get into the serious shit. I actually heard the first serious story from my dad when he was a college professor. And he would take time. He would do the subject and such. And at this point, I don't remember what the real subject was. Actually, I think he was the dean and he substituted. That was what was going on. But he took time for questions. And somebody said, what is the worst thing that you've ever seen in Vietnam? What's the worst thing that you've ever done? And he says, well, it's all the same story. And he said they were staying in a village. My dad was a ranger, and they roamed. Occasionally, they would find themselves back at a base, but it wasn't like they had a base. They would just go from one to the other, and they would go make sure that they're, if there were patrolling Vietnamese groups, they engaged. My dad said, but we were staying in a Vietnamese village. They fed them, they clothed, they fed them, they gave them a place to rest, and they stayed. My dad even cooked for them. My dad actually can cook really well. And they go out on patrol, and they're coming back to this village, and it was done. Yeah, I mean, there were still people there, but they had burned the huts, and Viet Cong had burned the huts and killed some of the people. And they found the head of this village, the guy my dad would talk to. They found him by a tree, and the Viet Cong nailed his intestines to the tree and then forced him to walk around until his intestines had been spent. And my dad told me after that they went hunting. He said it wasn't about us, traveling for making sure that things were safe for other troops to come forward. He said they were specifically hunting this group of people. And when they found them, they absolutely destroyed them. And they decided not to stop there. So for a while, my dad was just filled with all the anger you actually see. Oh my gosh, we're killing the yellow people, that kind of thing. For a little bit, my dad told me they did become the beasts. But when I think about war, I think, the soldiers kind of need to be at certain points. But that was really serious. I was about, I want to say 14, maybe 15 when I heard. That was the first serious story I heard about the Vietnam War. This is not making it to the flea market. It is just tore up. It's called The Gamble. Yeah. I know, and it's weird to hear. It's weird to hear your father tell you a story like that. It's weird. My father's killed people. It's one of those things. Of course, it's in war, but it was always kind of weird. And then I had a friend ask once, "Do you think your dad ever cheated on your mom?" And I thought, I don't know. I have no. But the thing is he was in war. He was in Vietnam. And he didn't know if he was going to live through tomorrow. So, I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know if I would say I wouldn't doubt it. I would say I wouldn't be surprised, but I also wouldn't blame him. It's a different time. It was definitely a different situation. 1956, Panzer battles. Not only are these books about World War II, these are like books like right after, I mean, these are something. Anyway, let's see what else we got. June Garwood, One Pink Rose, the first novel in the Claiborne Bride series. I don't think anybody here is going to be interested in that. There you go. And then we've got Nerd in Shining Armor by Vicki Lewis Thompson. There you go. Yeah. I don't know. I know some of you guys who are my age or around it probably have similar stories from your father if you've ever sat down and talked about the war. I'll tell you one of the things is I watched a guy comes up to my dad and says that he believes that he has a family, that he has grandkids, and he survived the war because of my father. I mean, these people who, my dad's not a big guy. At his best, he was 5'8", just a little guy, skinny. But to have the people who towered over him, they come up to him and it's just 100% respect. Even as a kid, I thought, you know what? All I ever want to be in this life is him. A good book is an event in my life. A little Bambi sticker. I think that's one of ours. Yeah, that's one of ours. Oh, I got a bookmark. It's got the booth number 86 on it. That was my daughter's booth. It stopped making money, so they stopped it. Alrighty, hello to everybody. I am showing off some dime store novels and some other books, and if you find something you like, just say so. They're $1 each. If somebody says, "Oh, I want that," at the same, like within the same minute of somebody else, then it'll turn into an auction. But only one person has wanted one book so far, so that's fine. These are more likely going to go on my eBay channel and or the flea market I go to. This is called The Mercenary. This is by Warren Parrish. Oh, The Mercenary, a Warren Parrish story by Alicia Hyder. There we go. Alrighty. And then we have a book called Battle, The Story of the Bulge, a dramatic reconstruction hour by hour, move by move of one of the most controversial battles of World War II, with 8 pages of photographs. John Toland. Alrighty. Photographs. There we are. Let's see. I asked my grandpa if he made any friends in the army in Vietnam. He answered, they were all my friends. Yeah. I will never understand that. I've never been to war, and right now I've never been in the army, and right now I'm beyond the age that they would even give a shit about me. If I went and tried to join the army, they'd tell me no. All right. I just never thought it would be for me. I probably would have benefited had I gone in, but I don't know. Just the idea of people yelling at me and telling me what to do all the time just didn't appeal to me. I don't even, I never liked it in a job to raise my hand to ask somebody to go to the bathroom. But I think I would have actually benefited from the discipline. Looking back, you know, I was not a very disciplined person, and I was always trying to find the how to game the system, not cheat, just use the rules to my benefit. Science and sorcery, when they're the same and when they're different. Rockets, robots, whirligigs, wizards come to life in stories by Ray Bradbury, Isaac Asimov, Frederick Pohl, Cordwainer Smith, and others. There we go. And then we have Clive Eggleton's The Borman Brief, another World War II. As suspenseful as The Day of the Jackal by the author of 7 Days to a Killing. All righty. There we go. Hooah. And this is Enemy at the Gates, The Battle for Stalingrad. Probably the best single work of the epic Battle of Stalingrad, an unforgettable and haunting reading expedition. And I know, obviously, as soon as I read that, people were like, "Oh, the sniper story," which, by the way, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good movie. I like that movie. The unforgettable recreation of the bloodiest battle in the annals of warfare, the beginning of the end for Hitler and the turning point of World War II, Stalingrad, 1942 through 43, a saga of inhuman conflict that cost the lives of more than 1 million men and women and cast a pall of horror over the world and history. There you go. I would live in town, hid in the shelters underground, and the Soviets turned their ships around, saw the Cuban missiles downed. Cold War kids were hard to kill. under their desks in an air raid drill. Haven't they heard we won the war? What do they keep on fighting for? This is Panzer, a great novel of World War II's Battle of the Bulge of a heroic captain and a handful of GIs pitted against the most awesome tank onslaught in history. There we go. Let's see. My dad was stationed in Montana during Vietnam. His best story was getting his draft notice while he was in basic training. Well, there you go. My dad, he said that he was drafted, but he didn't get to Vietnam until a year later because his and another guy's transcript, there were two Jack Butlers, and they got confused, so they had to settle out who was who. My dad passed some sort of test and went straight to officer school also, so that took time. So by the time he reached Vietnam, he was already an officer. My dad's very smart, or he was. He is. It's just you can't. Well, I don't know. He's a far whacked out leftist. So what do you do? The only time I had to ask permission to use the restroom was in boot camp, says Rhaegar. After that was over, you pretty much go to the restroom when you want, unless it's a ceremony. Okay. I could think of two scenarios where I wouldn't mind being drafted: invasion from Mexico, government or cartels, or invasion from China. Yeah, well, right now I'm about to be 56-year-old guy in Indiana. So if the enemy meets me, America's in fucking trouble. Somebody would have had to have really fucked up for the enemy to make it to Indiana. I don't care what side. I mean, if they come from the Atlantic. I mean, at least the Pacific, there's islands and shit. Also, you got to wonder who in Europe hates us so much that they would do something. Richard Avery, The Expendables, the War Games of Zelos. There we go. Last Round Against Rommel, Battle of Normandy, Beachhead by Alexander McKee. Yeah. I'm getting a little more careless pulling off these stickers. I'm leaving pieces on them. There we go. Hitler's Move. Oh, no. Yeah. Hitler's Moves, East 1941 to 43 by Paul Carroll. The Nazi surprise attack on the Russo-German border. Yeah, this is a lot of World War II history right here, kids. And that's what it is. They're not fiction books. These are all history. Ringer, Not All Birthdays Are Welcome by Jerry Spinell. Alrighty, come on. Get the sticker off. Put the candle back. All right. Oy vey. This one's really stuck on there. Boom, boom. Look at the native. She's not wearing a shirt. Doo. And here you go, The Ringer. I guess that's a kid's book. Alrighty then. Sorry, bird. The First and the Last. This is the rise and fall of the Luftwaffe in German in World War II by Germany's commander of fighting forces. It's called The First and the Last by Adolf Galland with illustrations. There you go. Let's see. What do we got? The Return of Cavan by David Manson. The Prince of Dorada is called back from death to save his world from soulless invaders. Alrighty, apparently this is the first printing by first sold in Abora. There you go. For those of you, well, nah, the same 6 people have been here. I don't have to go through what I'm doing again. All righty, last box of the night. This is where the Westerns are. Oh, and Ian Fleming's On Her Majesty's Secret Service, a James Bond thriller. I think this is actually the only one. I forgot which one I had. So the thumbnail has Casino Royale on it. I don't know. Maybe I have another one. But this is On Her Majesty's Secret Service. By the way, a great movie. I'm glad it gets the respect it deserves now. Of course, it was George Lazenby, who really is not a good actor. But, and since it was after Sean Connery, it just didn't get the respect that the other movies did. Let's see, we've got Cross the Stars by David Drake. Okay, we got some we're back to sci-fi. We're stepping away from the Nazis. Let's see. You should have seen America after 9/11 happened. It wasn't hard to find people who felt a duty to serve. I was already in my third week of basics, says Rhaegar. Yeah, a lot of people wanted to jump in. There we go. Cross the Stars by David Drake. This is ElfQuest Journey to Sorrow's End by Wendy and Richard Pini. A fantasy sensation, now a full-length novel. Completely enthralling, says Andrew Norton, whoever he is. There you go, with illustrations by Wendy Pini. There you go. That's a well-known one. Let's see, A Savage Journey by Alan W. Eckert. Hey, Eckert. What was his, the thing the Joker said? Hey, Eckhart. All right, here we go, Savage Journey. Unfortunately, the tag took a little bit of the cover off with it. Here we have Jan Kenglaski, Hands of Glory. When a demon master summons the seeking sword, it comes, it sees, but who conquers? We came, we saw, we kicked its ass is actually supposed to be we conquered. All righty, Hands of Glory. There we go. Away, away, my heart's on fire. I find Nero Wolf, the Bloodied Ivy, by Robert Goldsboro. The USS Independence. I think is the last time I remember America be truly unified. Well, look what happened. Look what freaking happened. The Democrats really jumped down George W. Bush. Of course, they got the whole thing where he's just sitting there listening to kids read. Oh, why did he just sit there and just stare? No. He wasn't going to panic kids. And maybe he was like, holy shit, what are we going to do? All right, give the man a minute. Fine. And then they got him out of there. But it was the reason why I bring that up is it was just, I think that was aside from the election with, what's his name? Internet guy, Lockbox, that guy. Gore. With the election, they did the same thing, and it just elevated. And then we got Barack Obama, who straight up said, I'm communist. We're going to change the America. We're going to fundamentally change America. What's that mean? Nobody asked, what does that mean? Why the fundamentals of America does not need to be changed. What needs to be changed are young Americans' understanding of what the fundamentals of America are. And by the way, I've been into so many arguments about this where people, you just know everything. It's your way, right? That's the only right way. Yes. It's my way is the right way because my way is the right way. The fundamental, the basic thing you need to understand about America is this. We are the great experiment. We are the country that said you are capable of governing yourself. That's it. That's what America is all about. That was what we were founded upon. The idea that we did not need a king, that we would elect people who would represent us. Of course, Of course, there were corrupt people. It would be stupid to say there wasn't, but yeah. I think it's horrible when I hear people go, oh, well, this country is founded on slavery. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. As a matter of fact, even in the beginning, the forefathers argued about whether to keep slavery. And of course, there were compromises. Alrighty, what is this one? I'm trying to get the stickers off here. There is a really old sticker on this book. I mean, it's almost feeling like cardboard. Shit, ow, that fucking stabbed me underneath the fingernail. All right, this is called Sorcerer's World by Damian Broderick. Oh, wow, this is fucking old, man. New American Library. How old is this? This looks old. Alrighty, what do we got? What do we got? Public. Oh, no, 1970. It's not old at all. It's young. It's young and vibrant. There you go, guys. 1970. Yeah. There's two ways to read the Constitution: original intent and wrong. Exactly. That is true facts. Here we have the Littlest Leaguer, story and picture by Sid Hoff. All righty. My thumb is so raw right now, tearing these things off. And then my whole plan is to play a video game. So that's more thumb pain. We finally hooked it up, but my daughter's got me a PlayStation 4. I've been on Ashley a lot because she left her PlayStation 4 in Wisconsin. I told her when we took her to the airport to go to New Zealand, I told her, bring your PS4 so I could play it. You know, I'll keep it because you're not getting it back from your friends. You're never going to see them again. She didn't believe that, so she left it with them. And I wanted to play the Spider-Man game. Oh, little man named Josh Ward owned this book. You can tell because he signed it. Josh Ward, right there. I used to do that, get these books through Riff. And there would be this big book fair that came to the public library, the school library. And I was in the library all the time. I loved reading. And there was I didn't even know it was a rule, but there was a rule. Only two books. I came with a pile. And the librarian actually goes, it's okay for him. He's going to read those. And I did. This is called Magic's Price by Mercedes Lackey. All righty, what do we got? Our department ordered all the aircraft parts to keep the guys in the skies. Oh, that's something my dad did talk about. And he did lectures, by the way, for a while. He had his own, oh, goodness gracious, what is it? It's not geology. Tracing back your family. Genealogy. He had that, and he would also give lectures to people who wanted to hear about Vietnam. And it was a side business that he made. He made a lot of money too doing that. Well, not to me, it would be a lot of money. To him, it was a side business. To me, it would be my business. But oh goodness, where am I going with this? Let me read that again. He mentioned. He said he never understood this. Why people who weren't in combat felt embarrassed by it. Like you went over to Vietnam, you worked at the store, you worked in getting the weapons ready, the clothes ready for the soldiers to go out and fight. He never understood why anybody would feel bad for doing that, like less, and never understood soldiers who put those people down. He says they kept you armed, they kept you clothed, made sure you could do your job. That's not something you put somebody down for. Anyway, Magic's Price. There you go. You know, let's see. One of the most popular authors of our time, Publishers Weekly, said that this is Andrew Norton's Moon of 3 Rings. And it's actually got a pretty cool cover here. Most of these sci-fi books actually have. I feel a little bad that I read off the title and then, you know, I still have to take off the tag, but there you go. Moons of 3 Rings. And if you, once again, I'll say this, if you are watching this secondhand, or, you know, once it's posted, not as a live stream, feel free to put in the comments, hey, I want that book, that book, that book. These are going on eBay, or they're going to my flea market. They're probably going to do both, go to eBay and then the flea market, but we'll see. The Ultimate Trip into the Orgiastic Future, a spellbinding tale by a master of science fiction suspense, The Demons of Sandora. And there's a bunch of naked people in that. There you go. All right. I've got a book that was described as orgiastic. Journey to Star Wars: The Force Awakens by Jason Fry. This is Star Wars: The Weapons of a Jedi. Okay, it says it's a Journey to Force Awakens, but it is a The Weapon of the Jedi, a Luke Skywalker story or adventure. There we go. Alrighty then. Bum, bum, bum. Illustrated Classic Editions, Thrillers, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Is this an actual Classics Illustrated? No, okay, no, it is illustrated, but it's it is a kid's novel. You know, it's one of those with a words, picture, words, picture, words, picture. Yeah. But it is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. It's pretty cool. Okay. Ta-da! And this is, you know, kind of thing I'm talking about. Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting I can't whistle. The bird will get activated. What do we got? Both of my grandfathers served in the Navy also. Prime on was stationed stateside, and on the other was the Wasp or Hornet. I can't remember which. I know he said it was sunk, said Grand Admiral. Really go on national media and actual call those who read the Constitution with the original intent extremists crazy. Yeah, yeah. They're fucking stupid. That's awesome. Much respect. Let's see. Respect to your family that served on mom's side. We have many people who served every branch going back to, well, at least since Black Americans joined. My grandfather was actually a pilot in World War II. There you go. Arthur C. Clarke, John W. Campbell, Isaac Asimov, and A. Merritt, Futures Unlimited. I think this is another short story. And then we have Andrew Norton, Forerunner. Okay. First publication anywhere. Okay. So this is a first edition. My grandfather, I don't remember him telling us war stories, but then again, I was 15 when my granddad died. All right. There you go. Forerunner. Let's see. Clifford D. Simic, Grand Master of Science Fiction, in a book called A Heritage of Stars. Is that a tear? Nope, that's actually the cover itself. The Nurse at Whittles by Lucy Agnes Hancock. Paper helps finish the job. Wait, what? It does have a tear on the back. This looks old as hell too. No, you know, like who was it said that nobody's buying books anymore? I know young people aren't. I don't want to read. It's the young people who are happy to be stupid. Those are the ones that we need to worry about. And there we go. Let's see. How old is this? Copyright 1945. This is a Golden Age book. Let's see. The thing we always tell young family growing up is if you don't know what you want to do when you get to college age, the military is a good way to figure it out. Okay. Austin is saying, I had one of those Journey to the Force Awakens books in high school. I was so excited for that movie. Now that book's rotten in a thrift store. My Force Awakens, Rogue One, and Last Jedi Blu-rays have been in the dumpster for 6 years. Really? Nobody's coming to pick them up? That is something. When the garbage man won't take those Blu-rays out of the dumpster, you know it's bad. My papa, who was on the ship that sank, only told me about it once. Now that I'm older, I understand why. It would have been the Battle of Midway. Whoa. Yeah, that's something. Oh, I have another box downstairs with the Westerns. I'm not going to worry about it because this is going to be the last box. It's the one I brought up here. Not going to, hold on. I'm going to go down and get more books. But I have some Western series. I forget what it was, but I have a few. They're just kind of like the Destroyer novels. You know, it's like this is volume 1 through, The Battle for Germany, the true story of the greatest battle in history. The German armies were, September 1944, German armies were falling back across the wide front. The remnants of the Luftwaffe were being gathered for the last-ditch effort, but gloom and pessimism were slowly throttling the once mighty German war machine until that late fateful day in December. Field Marshal von Rundstedt had resumed the command of the German forces in the West, and now he launched one of the greatest counter campaigns in military history. It is going to go down on the records as the terrifying and unbelievable Battle of the Bulge. This is like the third book I got on the Battle of the Bulge here today. There are some young people who still read. They either read Brennan Sanderson, the good stuff mostly, and roman fantasy books. At least they're reading. You know, I got my kids started reading with comic books. They went to manga. Elizabeth, like me, is a big Stephen King fan. You know, but they were reading. Ashley, I don't know if Ashley actually reads so much as Elizabeth does. Another Battle for the Bulge book. But she's trained. She knows, you know. You got to start them young. Like I said, I felt so bad. My nieces were looking at this. They were watching that fucker. What's his name? The dude who walks around like this, bumping into people, and his bodyguard pushes. When they turn to confront him, the bodyguard steps in. He kind of wrecked his car and then told his friend to film him so he could freak out about his car. Fucking little guy. It's like, I've not wanted to fight someone so badly before. Like, I would go through the bodyguard to get to him if he fucked with my wife or children the way he fucks with other people. I don't care how big that guy is. I would tell him straight up, you need to remove your client from a dangerous situation because at this moment I'm going to follow you. And when I get a chance to run him down, I will. If I'm just that Jack Doherty. Yeah. This is 1966, The Ragged Rugged Warriors, the heroic story of American pilots in the early air war against Japan. Oh, now we're fighting the Japanese. All right. More World War II books. I Killed Martin Bormann, the incredible revelation of top British intelligence agent Ronald Gray, the long suppressed true story of what really happened to Hitler's notorious henchman, the most hated, most sought Nazi in the world. There you go. The greatest battle in the world, Stalingrad. Battle of the Bulge. Yeah, there's like 4 different things, books in here about the Battle of the Bulge. Taste of Courage, the war 1939 through 1945, Volume 1, The Blitzkrieg, edited by Desmond Flower and James Reeves. And apparently, is it bent? Yeah, it's bent. It's still there. It's just bent. Okay, there we go. I tried to get my nephews and nieces to read, explain to them that they want you stupid and complacent. The way my plan was to tell them turn off the screens. You can get them back after you finish a chapter or after you finish a book. And I want to know about that chapter of the book. I want to encourage them. It doesn't when they're young. Read a young book. Read one age appropriate. One of them was 6 and one of them was 9. I'm not expecting them to read, Great Expectations or anything at that age. I mentioned earlier at that age, I read Charlotte's Web, Bridge to Terabithia, Boxcar Children, The Pinballs. This is called The Wind Chill Factor, a roller coaster thriller of global takeover by terror. There you go. I'm looking for a movie, and I keep having to look it up. When I was a kid, when HBO first started showing up in everybody's houses, there was an Elliot Gould movie, and it had three kind of assassins. They all looked like Freddie Mercury, and it was about these notes from George Washington, and everybody's trying to get them because they're valuable. Plus, it may have said, something along the lines of Washington didn't want to do what they told him to do, that he had second thoughts. And so this 1955, it's Andre Norton, called The Star Guard. There you go. I can feel myself. I'm running out of spoons here. I'm getting a little tired. We've been at this for 2.5 hours. Let's see. Now, in terms of my own writing, I'm stuck in third draft of my own Sword and Sorcery short story for almost a year now. Let's see. It's not like we have tons of recent examples that validate that claim, especially in the last few years. Oh, okay. Yeah, they want them to be stupid and complacent. I read Jurassic Park in 6th grade. I failed to and still have no ideas how that ended up in my elementary school library. Oh, by the way, what happened was Rhaegar commented, and I was looking at Austin's, and then he clipped over, so I started reading Rhaegar's comment. Let's see. I'm sure they just think it's some right. Mm-hmm. It's a conspiracy that you're trying to keep people stupid. Oh my goodness gracious. I just did all the books from the top of the box. Now I got the ones that are, laying flat sideways and all that kind of stuff. Andre, Norton, Ordeal in the Otherwhere. Oh, wait, we had this one already. This is a copy. All righty. Little man, you're in there for the evening. He's a good boy. He can't see me. I can see him. He can't see me. All right. Andrew Norton, The Zero Stone. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-da-da-dum. There you go. Then we got Andrew Norton. Wait a second. Is this? Okay. Uncharted Stars. This is the kind of thing for eBay I'm just going to group up. Like right here, they're $1. I might put, like if there's 3 of them, I might put $5 on them. There you go. Well, actually, I'll check. First thing I'll do is I'll check whatever's the last few sold, when they sold. You always got to check that too. It's not just the price. You got to check to see when they sold. Like, okay, this one sold for $5, but was it 3 years ago? Then you got to wonder, okay, nobody's buying these. Are there still any up there? Like first, after you check the sold, check the ones that are already listed and see how long they've been listed for. Because if they, $5 and it's been listed for a long time, you want to go 3 if you can. Brad Daly, The Fall of the White Ship Avatar. And then we've got another Andre Norton story. And this one I can't read because the sticker is across the title. Why would you do that? Tray of Swords. There we go. And then we have from the Dark Ward trilogy, Doomstalker by Glenn Cook. This is Dark Ward Trilogy 1. I guess this is Dark Ward Trilogy Book 1. Dreaded by all, why did the witch-like Sylph fear the power of one untrained child? Alrighty. Oh, should show it off. There you go. Nothing you can do that can't be done. Harry Harrison. Book 2 in the epic trilogy To the Stars. Wheel World. All right. These are what I was talking about. These are the Bantam books. Bantam Books has that dime store novel look to it. So anytime I think of that's what I'm thinking of. Ace science fiction as well. And this is How the Gods Wove in Kiernan by Ardith Mayhar. There you go. I hope there was some sort of success with these things, you know? Like, I haven't heard of these, but I hope there was an audience enough where the person was able to make a living making these books, you know? I think that would be nice. We truly live in a great and terrifying age. People have knowledge at their fingertips you used to have to be the elite to access. Yet now so much misinformation, disinformation abides. Well, yeah, everybody has a voice. What gets me is some of those voices are the elite. Some of these voices are other countries, and they want to make sure that there's so much information out there, you can't tell what's true or what's not. Andrew Norton, Key Out of Time. And then we've got Brian Daly, Jinx on a Terran Inheritance. You know, we haven't seen too many books. It's like not a big famous author, but you heard it because it's a TV show or a movie. Not so much of those. Star Drifter Across the Universe. This is by Dale Aycock. Interstellar war threatens when a dangerous mission sends a space pilot to a forbidden star system. That is the TV guide draft or description they've got on the top of the book. Oh, I pulled books over here already. Andre Norton, Here Abide Monsters. Okay, abide, not abode, which means they're like, yeah, we're good. We're good with monsters. That's fine. The dude abides. All right. No Nights Without Stars by Andrew Norton. Oh, I'm going to put the Andrew Norton novels together. On a Night of 1,000 Stars. New science fiction adventure by the best-selling author of Jargoon Pard. No Nights Without Stars. There we go. On a night that's without the stars. Hugo winning award winner C.J. Cherry, Down Below Station. There you go. Let's see. We must stop terror. I call nations stop these terrorist killings. Now watch this drive. And we are more able to connect at will with someone across the planet, yet people will even cut off family right down the street. Yeah, it's ridiculous. For a politician that doesn't give two shits about them. And if you're Democrat, it's not even over what you believe, because Democrats don't have a core belief. Their belief is what are other Democrats telling me to believe? What is being said on TikTok? Because they have argued a point, and then when Trump says, "Oh yeah, I agree with that point," or does something, or we see a bad guy, like where's the feminists are gone, by the way. Feminists don't count anymore because we've seen them go after feminists or actual women. Oh my gosh, that guy raped this woman, but he's an illegal alien. So Trump, not the illegal alien rapist. You're a-okay with that? Fuck Trump and ICE and doing what they do. This guy, the kid, you're okay with that? Fuck Trump. Okay. They truly have no core beliefs, because what they are saying today is what they're against tomorrow, as soon as the Democrat Party and Twitter or TikTok tell them not to. So I don't buy into the with their dropping people for politics. They're not dropping people for politics. They're dropping people for TikTok and the Democrat Party. Secret of the Sixth Magic by Lyndon Hardy. Yeah. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Away. All right, let's see. It's the best age in human history to live in compared to the looming threat of mortality in most of our species in years' existence. Feminism is dead, says Brobarian, and women killed it. I absolutely agree with that. And it's completely dead when they accept trans people. Now, I've known a few trans people, not a lot, because there just aren't a lot of them. But when you work in entertainment in a theme park, you do meet that. You do meet gay people. You do meet trans people, transsexuals, by the way. I don't fall in with transgender. It's transsexual. Transgender, a lot of times when you're talking to them, they're not transsexuals. They're transvestites. They're A-okay being men dressed as women. Now they want to force you to say, but that's power trip. But I don't buy into it. I don't buy into all that kind of stuff. It really is mostly just a power trip. 1989. This is Alien Death Fleet by Edward S. Hudson. But one of the things, and I think it's because of the power trip, that feminism killed itself by getting behind the transvestite community. Any man says he's a woman, the feminists believe it. And what the trans community has become is, or at least their message has become, is shut up, men are talking. Woman can't say anything. Look at what's her name, the swimmer that swam with that guy. What's his name? Leia something or other. She was told, shut up, men are talking. That's all it is. Literally, shut up, men are talking. You don't agree with me? Shut up, men are talking. 1965 by Paul Anderson. Flandry of Terra. There you go. Shut up, men are talking. That's what they've bowed to. That's what the feminists have bowed to. It's ridiculous. They should be embarrassed. But I don't know. What's the new rule? I'm a guy, so I'm not supposed to have an opinion. All right. Instead, like I said, I'm right 98% of the time. That's part of the 98. Andre Norton, Stargate. There you go. That actually looks pretty good. I was reading to see if it was like the movie Stargate. It isn't. All right. The Broken Lands by Fred Saberhagen. Women are most susceptible to the problem. They really are. A lot of I was watching a documentary. I'm watching 2026 films, and there's a documentary on Prime called 100 Women of Horror. And for a while it was good, but then they went into politics, and I was like, oh, fuck you guys. In the identity politics. The Broken Lands by Fred Saberhagen. Because, and a lot of times, or when you're watching The Boys, like The Boys is okay. You know, the last few seasons, okay. But they go off the rails when they decide to do the politics. And one thing I was thinking is, the thing is you're not talking about conservatives. You're not talking about Republicans. You're talking about conservatives and Republicans through the lens of an ignorant leftist that never bothered to talk to or find out what conservatives and Republicans really mean. He just, once again, watches TikTok, watches CNN and all that, and goes, oh, that must be the truth. The Jargon Card by Andrew Norton. Charles Fort and the Wild Talents. Author of the Book of the Damned, Loy and New Lands. It's saying it is a startling collection of chilling reports on what the scientists refuse to recognize as fact, but which they cannot disprove. Alrighty. The ghastly teleportation murders, the invisible hands that mutilate animals and people. All right, well, there you go. That sounds like a conspiracy theory book. Wizard of Storms, thunderbolts flashed from his fingertips, and the universe trembled with the sound of his satanic laughter by David Ham Arneman. Did I read that right? Van Arnhem. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Come on, get off my finger. Thank you. By the way, I long started missing the garbage over here. I got a mess to clean up tomorrow. Okay, so The Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. Just kidding. On a planet of two moons in a time of war and tyranny lived a race gifted with a forbidden and magnificent vision. And they fell into a burning ring of fire. The first book about Children of Yennel by Shirley Rousseau Murphy. Never heard of it. The Wizard in Waiting, and this is by Robert Don Hughes. I've had a few by some recognizable authors, but some of these have been just way off. And I've also had the number 6 up in my corner here. Tell you what, even if you're listening and you're just listening, you've just been chilling, leave a hello in the chat. I would love to know if there's more than 6 or just 6. The Wizard in Waiting, when a prophet plays the fool, even a sentient castle despairs. There we go. That actually sounds pretty cool. Let's see. This is he summoned the monsters of the past to help him rule the world. This is called Time Scoop by an author called John Brunner. There you go. A Pandora's Box of Evil. That's what it says on the back. This is by an author named Lyle E. Modesett Jr. called The Towers of Sunset. And the little critic blurb says it was published. So there you go. No, it actually says another charmer. It's only 2 words. It reminds me of a joke Dennis Miller told. He said, talking about the dishonesty of the newspapers of the day. This is in the 90s. And he says, a movie critic would say the writer of this movie needs to be sent to the writer of this comedy needs to be sent to a gas chamber. He says, and in big letters on the movie poster, they'll put Dennis Miller says this movie a gas, or yeah, Dennis Miller says a gas, yeah, something like that, talking about the dishonesty. Alrighty, Jim Sorensen says here that Weapon of the Jedi book isn't too bad. I got it on Google Books. It's a quick read. Okay. Are you going back to look at books, or are you kind of behind us right now? Here's Andre Norton, The Crossroads of Time. Alrighty. Got a good Andre Norton. If I knew who he was, maybe I'd be a little bit more excited. This is all new authorized adventures of the Lensmen, E. Doc Smith's Galactic Champions. Lensmen from Rigel by David A. Kyle. There you go. And that's where I read all that stuff. Man, this is how this is. I've been at this for almost 3 hours. I could have had an auction. All righty, Dark War Trilogy number 2. We had number 1 earlier. This is Warlock by Glenn Cook, author of Doomstalker, which might have been book 1. Where are we at? 12:40. Oh, wait, no, Gail, I was about to say, oh, man, I got to go to bed early or as soon as I get done because Gail's got to go to work. She don't have to go to work tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I talked to her. We have nothing planned tomorrow. So I'll probably go see a couple of movies. What is it? It's Mortal Kombat and another one I wanted to see, but I can't recall what it was. By the way, I went to the movies yesterday. And I saw, what did I see? Oh, Open Water. I love shark movies. And this is plane crashes in the ocean. Sharks are all around. It's got Aaron Eckhart in it. Ben Kingsley is in the beginning. He plays the main pilot, gets killed. This is such a silly film. One thing I don't like about a lot of animal attacks movies, like Anaconda. Okay, love the movie. Love it, love it, love it. The snake would not be chasing them. That's not how snakes work. Once he ate Owen Wilson, he's gone for 3 days. And they kind of did that with the sharks in this movie. Like a lot of shark movies do this. The shark kills to kill, not to eat. Let's see. This is, oh, I already read this. Here it is. There you go. Have a good night, Grand Admiral. Have a good night. I am actually getting to the I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more books to show off. I do have another box filled Western. I'll do that another day because this will be the 3rd box I went through. This is Robert McKinley. I think I heard this name too. McKinley knows her geography of fantasy, the nuances, the language, the atmosphere. Child of 2 worlds and 1 destiny. This is the Blue Sword. Yeah, you'll find a lot of these on eBay. If you guys see anything, even if you're watching this afterwards, let me know. And yeah, we can make a deal. We can make a deal. All right, Andrew Norton, The Wraiths of Time. I am definitely putting all of these together as a set. House of Evil and Other Strange Unsolved Mysteries by Margaret Ronan. Alrighty. And once again, these boxes were given to me, so I'm not charging anything over a buck for anybody on YouTube. I might put a $1.50, $2 on eBay. That's only because they're going to take it. They're going to take a big chunk, not a big chunk. It's 11%. There you go. House of Evil. Andrew Morton, High Sorcery, Warlocks of Other Worlds. Alrighty. Or Scientists of Time Unknown. Oh, that's okay. You know, that's kind of the abracadabra thing from the Flash. His technology is so advanced, he looks like a wizard. Andre Norton, Quest Cross Time, first-rate book by one of the best authors in the field today. Alrighty, and this is here. And the last one, I do appreciate everybody who's hung out. Well, no, not the last. Yeah, the last one. I do appreciate it, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Do you carry Dragonlance books? Dude, I don't care. Well, I don't. This is not my business, actually. If I can, I would. But I was at the flea market, and the guy I know there said, look, my people aren't buying this. Do you want these? And he said, I could have them. And I figured, okay, you know, I'll take them. I'll put them up. Basically, anything I make off of it is profit. So I'm not out there searching for, but if I find them, and I know you're looking for them, Barbarian, yeah, I'll snag some, and when I have them, I'll tell you, hey, next auction, I'll put a whole bunch of these up, or you know, we could talk. You know, I'll leave you a message if I see you in the chats and all. I'll keep an eye out, but I'm not usually a book seller. If it goes well, I'll talk to the guy and say, where did you get these? But I have to see how it goes, really. Raiders of Gore by John Norman, the Gorian Cycle Counter Earth Book 6. There you go. And there is one more box, and it's full of Westerns. But like I said, I'll show that off later. I am going to be taking pictures of, because there's a lot of series in that. And I do want to keep them together and put them on eBay and everything. All right. Well, there you go. I enjoyed this because basically it was a chat where I'm showing off books. I like that. I actually want the auctions to be that way as well. You know, I'm selling books, but let's talk. You know, I told Gail, I said, I kind of blank if nobody's chatting, or if I'll go, hey, this topic, and I don't see questions on the side. I'm like, where do I go from here? And I said, I told her, I said, that's when I start getting into my own head, especially if I'm talking and nobody's responding, nobody's bidding on books. I'll be like, oh my gosh, what's inside? I'm like, and you guys have heard me. Sometimes I'll go off. I'll be like, oh my God, what's going to happen? But I love it when we do stuff like this, and it's just basically let me read off comments and such. So, yeah. We do talk, be keep interrupting us with this auction stuff. I appreciate when you guys come in and talk. You should have come in for this one. What the hell, man? How was your sports ball today, Eric? Hopefully it went well. And I do have one book to pull out for Tony Hayes. I do remember it. I also remember where the box is. I actually closed that one up. I literally now have 4 boxes of books standing next to me. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. I do have an auction scheduled for tomorrow. It's a pop-up auction kind of thing. It'll be 20% or 25% off, but it's 25% off on $20 or more. That way it just, it actually would make some money. I don't see a point to selling a $1 book and only getting 75 cents, But if we do it, it'll start usual time, 8:30. But there's nothing going on. I'm going to go see movies. If I could see 3 of them, I will. That's how many tickets I've got left on my AMC. You get 4 movies a week, and I would love to catch up. There's 2 movies coming out tomorrow. One of them is Mortal Kombat. What is another one? Because I wanted to see that one almost as much. And I can't even freaking think about what the heck was it. What is on the? Okay, here we go. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. I know I haven't seen, what was that? Hail Mary. I haven't seen that one yet, and I kind of want to catch that as well. All righty. What was the other one? Oh, Hokum. I wanted to see Hokum. Oh, The Sheep Detective. That's right. That one just looks silly. That the sheep detective with Hugh Jackman, he gets killed and the sheep go try to. That is a ridiculous premise. I want to watch that. I want to check that one out. Shit with a capital S. Eric Breen not doing too well on the sport. You should have jumped in, man. Valiant Entertainment shut down their official Discord channels. Comics are in a bad place. Nobody gives a fuck about them. Think about the people who you hear about buying comics. They're not buying comics to, well, not all of them, obviously. But the main thing you're hearing about is, oh, I got this cover. It's like a baseball card. What's going on in the books? What's going on in the books that make people say, I have to have this? Nobody's focusing on that. The YouTube, the people who should be promoting all that shit, they're not promoting it. And then and look, I did it too. I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying, look what we're getting. The people who say anything positive are usually saying things positive about books you look at and they go, that's cringy as fuck. I don't want to have. And then you don't trust this person anymore. What do they call them? Shills? And the bigger channels, also, they're talking more about the negative shit than they are the positive shit. So why would anybody new really fucking give a care? And this is one thing we talked about a long time ago about how are we damaging when we talk about comic books and it's all negative. How are we damaging the comic book industry? Marvel raised their prices again. Yep. They're not selling as many, so they've got to raise the price on the few who still are buying. That's the way Disney's been running out of business too. So I don't know. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. What is it now? Is it $6? I have not bought a new book in forever and a day. Just don't see the point of it. But and that's mainly because I do have a bookshelf filled with books I haven't read yet, and I'm just trying to get through those. Right now, I'm reading Dan Slott's She-Hulk. I love that. I just got done with the miniseries, and now I'm on to the regular series, which I do believe gives way to Peter David's She-Hulk, which is absolutely brilliant. So, yeah. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Marvel raised their prices. I won't be surprised if DC does. But if I were them, I might knock a quarter off the price. Fuck Marvel. Instead of, if they're $3.99 or $4.99 and Marvel raised the price to $5 or $6 or wherever they raised it to, go down $1 or 50 cents, 25 cents. Make the gap bigger and make that price tag bring people over. Might work. I said Disney should, or Universal should do this to Disney for a decade now, a decade and a half. I said next, we've got Harry Potter. People were very excited about Harry Potter. So the smart thing to do is when Disney raises their prices again, lower them. Make the price to value so enticing. Universal buries Disney. Thankfully, they've got Epic Universe now and they're doing it anyway. But if I were in charge of Universal, my next move, lower the prices. Disney's $200 a day for one person. Fuck that. Way too expensive. Anyway, I will definitely see you Friday night. And what? You're a gizzard. Oh, you're a gizzard, Harry. I would imagine the DC Finest books are crushing the Epic Collections, $15 cheaper and 150 more pages. Wow. That is something. So they are, I know they're, they're $25 for the Epic Collections. Yeah, I got to start getting those DC Finest. I've been wanting to get the JSA books. I know there's 2 of them now. Sounds good to me. Anyway, hold up. Marvel and DC could cut prices simply by not paying 20 cover artists per issue. Perhaps, yeah. They say that it's those covers that are keeping the business afloat. I wonder how many people would leave if they just did 1 cover or 2 covers. But yeah, people go for those $150, 1 out of 1,000 covers and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know. If I were the comic shops, if this did happen to, excuse me, what's his name? He was here for a while, drew me a picture of Thor and Pikachu, but he ended up he wanted a 1 in 50 comic book cover, so they made him buy all 50. Sounds about right. I'm hoping they put Green Lantern Earth 1 in finest print. They have Wonder Woman set to release. Oh, okay. I haven't really gotten into the Earth 1 things. I think I read Batman. It was okay. And it wasn't good enough to make me to me anyway, to buy anything else from Earth 1. Epic collections are $30. Most are 40. Wow. Yeah, it's too much. That's too much for what, 5-10 issues? 150 pages. You think 22 pages an issue. So you're looking at 150. You're looking at what, 7 more comics for $15 less. Yeah, that's something. I don't know. Anyway, I'll try this again. You kids have a great time. I will definitely see you Friday. I might see you tomorrow. Enjoy. Thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night. You know, somebody said I should end this going, and I'm Englantine and I love comics. I said,